Well, I'm eager to find out.
Well, I'm sad to break the news to you.
What?
John Lennon is dead.
Something's wrong with the drummer on that song. He just has like some sort of a a nervous attack in a couple of places and just starts drumming out of control for a second.
Well, speaking of dead, we could have gone this way.
Okay.
In 1980, Bon Scott, here's how they write it, AC/DC singer, pronounced dead on arrival at a London hospital after a heavy night of drinking. Scott was found in the passenger seat of a friend's parked car. The official coroner's report stated he had, quote, drunk himself to death. So we could have gone that way.
Well, who hasn't had that happen to him?
But we didn't, because on this day in 1970, John Lennon recorded Instant Karma. And I saw that and thought, I like that song. There's an excuse
right.
to
She
play
chose
that
that
song.
over AC/DC.
I did.
That's an all right song.
It's only an all right song?
It's not one of my favorites. From that era, I think the same era is Across the Universe. You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that song.
Well, they didn't record that one on this day.
No. So this morning, I was having trouble sleeping because I had this cough, and which drives my wife to go sleep in the bed up in the attic. Mm-hmm. And then when I get up and go up into the attic to do my work in the morning, she goes down and gets in, just switches. But so I'm having trouble sleeping because I'm coughing, and I'm looking at the clock, my phone this morning, and it says it's 1 a.m. I think, oh, jeez, and I don't feel tired, and I could just get up now, and
At 1 a.m.?
Well, I get up at 3.
But yeah,
I got to wait it out till 3. Wait a minute. I forgot to put honey in the marinade for the chicken. That's
what I'll do at 1 in the morning.
So that's what I did. I got up, went downstairs. I forgot to put the tablespoon of honey in the marinade.
Maybe that's why you couldn't sleep. It was
Maybe.
nagging at you.
No, it was
No?
No, it was the coughing, and yeah. So I got that taken care of and went back to bed for a little while, but not a successful night of sleep last night or the night before.
My night was too successful.
Had a hard time getting up.
No, I couldn't. I didn't get up. Usually, either the dogs or myself wake us up at midnight to go potty.
One time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they like to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Slept through the night and just, had a hard time getting up this morning.
You didn't wet the bed, did you?
No.
Okay.
You know who wet the bed?
That happens.
Michael Bloomberg wet the bed.
That's not the way you put it.
That's not the way.
What you said earlier to me off the air was he really essed the bed last night. Yeah. We'll talk about that coming up. Oh, and Carrie, before I forget.
Yes.
We had this discussion some time ago, and I don't think we ever successfully completed the discussion. We were talking about grapes, and I bought some grapes yesterday.
Yes.
And you know how the bags of the grapes in the grocery store, they're
open.
They're Ziploc type bag.
Yeah.
But they're always open.
Always open.
And we were speculating, why would that be? Why are they open? You sort of thought maybe it's so they could take a sample.
I thought it was so you could taste them to see if they were good.
Yeah, and I did this weeks ago. I asked the produce guy. Mm-hmm. It occurred to me to ask the produce guy, why are the bags always open of the grapes? And he looked at them for a second and went, I don't know. That's just the way they come.
That's just the
That's
way
as
they
much
come.
as he knows?
Well, I think that's just the way they come.
No, there's got to be a reason.
We don't bother to seal them up. It takes too much time. They come open, so we just put them out.
There's a reason.
I had someone who worked in produce explain it to me.
Okay?
Yeah, and it's so that because maybe you don't want that whole bag. Because the bag is
they sell them by the pound.
They sell them by the pound. So you could put them in the scale and then take out.
Yeah.
That's why.
And put them in another bag.
And put them in another bag.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
So there
my produce guy went, I don't know, that's just the way they come.
I like my sample theory better. Because I always grab a sample as I go through the produce.
But you don't want to do that. They're loaded with pesticides.
If you buy the organic ones.
I haven't got you to
if that don't kill me, then
I don't believe in the the tyranny of organic food kind of gets to me sometimes.
Well, produce is where you should care about it.
Yeah.
The other stuff is ridiculous.
I grew up eating apples loaded with pesticides. And what? What's it done? I'm okay. Oh, my back. Oh, I'm fine. I don't. I mean, when you were a kid, you didn't even think about that, and I never washed an apple in my life when I was a kid.
You rub it on your shirt?
Yep, but that doesn't get the pesticides off. You polish it up so it looks nice, but
See, my dad was always spraying pesticides
yeah,
in the garden.
and on the farm and
And
on
then
the
he,
garden.
and he always made sure that he's wash that.
Yeah.
It's got that crap all over it to keep the bugs off.
Yeah, my
And then toward
my father did that too.
toward the end, he stopped using the pesticides.
And the crop suffered for it.
Crop suffered for it, but he felt better about it. So
All right. Well, I guess we ought to officially begin the Radio from Hell show coming up. You can check in with us if you'd like. This is just a little reality check, is what we do here. You check in with the Radio from Hell show. And you say, "Are you there? Are you guys there? Yeah, we're here.
If we're here and you're here, then
And everything will be okay. What do you got coming up today? Why don't you check in with us and tell us what you've got coming up today? 877-602-9696. That's the number to call and check in with the Radio from Hell show. One random caller will receive absolutely free, gratis, if you will, no charge, a Radio from Hell tote bag
they're huge.
from huge brands.
you could put a lot of grapes in them.
You could. 877-602-9696. Do it now. Check in with the Radio from Hell show.
Okay. New Dwello.
Lolly, up at New Dwello, the New Dwello team would like you to text the word money to 62687. And this is for your benefit, because there is this gift of equity program that they can get you tapped into, where you can get up to $15,310 for the purchase of a home. Text the word money to 62687. New Dwello will help you find this money. These grants are not just for first-time home buyers or low-income people. These are grants for the purchase of a home, a pretty nice home. There is a cap. It's $525,700. So that's a lot of home right there. You can use them for in any location, a home in any location in Utah. No restrictions on that. And again, this is not a second mortgage. It's a true gift of equity. So to find out more about it, and they'll close it within 20 to 30 days, so it's pretty easy. Text the word money to 62687.
Download the
Ladies and gentlemen, direct from the haunted house near you, he's the guy who chased you out at the end. He wears
I was scared.
He wears the hockey mask and threatens you with a chainsaw.
Yeah,
He is Chainsaw Guy.
yeah. How are you? You're the little girl who wet her pants last time, aren't you?
You scare me every time, James.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Guy, it's good to see you. Of course, a lot of people know you as the guy who chases you out at the end of the haunted house with the chainsaw.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
And you've been very busy.
Yes, very busy. This is my big night.
But a lot of people don't know that Chainsaw Guy is also a very sensitive man, especially in the ways of love and
Oh,
relationships.
thank you. And I am a licensed sex therapist.
Now, when
Sex therapy?
when you are
Sure, why
doing
not?
when you're doing your sessions, do you wear the mask, or do you take it off ever?
The mask never comes off. I do change the jumpsuit occasionally. You like the new one?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, well, I thought it was time for a new set of overalls, and so I got the bright orange like a prison inmate.
That's very nice.
Yeah,
It adds to the menace.
thank you.
All right, Chainsaw Guy, we have. I believe we indulge her every year. Chainsaw Guy, we have on the line Tim, who Tim is on the line, who's desperately in need of some of your love advice. Tim, go ahead and tell Chainsaw Guy exactly what's going on and ask your question when you're finished.
Sure, Chainsaw Guy. Well, my question is, I'm in a relationship with a girl named Aubrey right now, and everything's going swimmingly with her. She's great. The problem is with her mother. Her whole family is all LDS and very LDS, and I'm very not LDS.
Yes.
Her mother naturally has a problem with that.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to know, Chainsaw Guy, what should I do?
Well, Tim, I'll be going to bed, and I don't think it is. Or so it's the story in it. And I think, and I forgot. I had this in a gym, and then mother and daughter, they could take both of their outfits, but the attenders for a lot of not vegetarian and a curry on top, and I take the first over, and I say the vinegar. And then I end up doing both.
So there you go, Tim.
Thank you very much.
I left out the part where, Chainsaw Guy has his chainsaw with him.
Yeah.
It's all a key
It's a pulling.
part of the, it's a pulling. Yes, it is a pulling.
I got
Catherine,
rid of a Husqvarna.
I don't blame you. Catherine, Chainsaw Guy is here. What is your question?
All right. I'm curious because I've been dating this guy
Yeah?
a couple weeks.
Are you bi curious?
Are you bi curious is what he's asking?
That's what I said. Are you bi curious?
No. I'm just curious because he keeps on saying that he wants to just love me to pieces.
Oh,
And I just don't know if I should let him do that because it kind of creeps me out.
Uh-huh. Well,
so Chainsaw Guy, what should Catherine do?
well, Catherine, I can do the first of the Lord is to get a refrigerated truck, and then you do it in the thing. And then the second of the Lord, he's the tea, all the way, and then you turn, and then I turn it down a little bit, and then around, and then he just flies home, and then he will up for them, and then he can love more of you in more places.
There you go, Catherine. I hope that helped. Are we done, Gina?
One more.
I'm always up, although I'm very busy. I've got
He does have to go and sharpen the chainsaw
Just
blade.
one
but-
more. Just one more.
All right.
What do you mean? It's not a chainsaw blade. It's a chain, you idiot.
Yeah. Brittany,
Hello.
Hi, Brittany.
Chainsaw Guy is here. What is your, tell us about your situation and then ask Chainsaw Guy what to do.
I have this friend that we've been friends for a long time, and I have a crush on him, and I just met his new girlfriend, and he wants me to honestly tell him what I think of her, and I can't stand her, and I want to tell him how I feel, but I just don't know. Chainsaw Man, what should I do?
Well, and I just listen. Catherine, Brittany, what are you doing then? I think I know. And then, okay, so you get her girlfriend, and then you're going to hit it. You really have a partner. So what you need to do is try about to see what you think of that. And then you go in, and then I think I will now go and talk to Maggie. And then, if you think what the word is, and then you want to do, and then I think the car is end up in a three-way.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Brittany, thank you.
No, thank you.
Can I go now? I've got a lot of people to scare.
Yes, thank you very much.
Sure.
Chainsaw Guy.
Are they performing now?
All
See
right,
you
yes.
later.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chainsaw Guy. It's just amazing he makes time on Halloween.
Look at that. He's out the door. Look at that.
There he goes.
Here he goes. Orange jumpsuit, his pulling chainsaw. There he
Hockey
goes.
mask.
For another year, gone.
Glad he got rid of the Husqvarna.
Yeah.
It's not as scary as
No.
a pulling
No.
because they're higher pitched.
I remember when he started, all he could afford was an eager beaver.
6:20.
All right, it's time to officially begin the Radio from Hell show. And then after that, we'll take your check-ins at 877-602-9696. We've told you some of the things coming up on the show today. You know, the Beat Gina, for instance.
You can win Trevor Noah tickets for that. That's this Friday.
So stuff like that. But what's coming up on your show today?
The show that is your life.
Yeah, 877-602-9696. Give us a tease about what's going on your in your show today. A random caller will get a Radio from Hell tote bag. Gina.
$3,500 more for your vehicle's trade-in, no matter its condition, only at National Auto Plaza in Murray, Sandy, and now open in American Fork.
The moon just about gone. I didn't even notice it in the sky this morning. It is still out there, I believe, a little thin sliver of a moon, only 8.9% of full. The moon will set today at 3:20 p.m., today being Thursday. It's the 20th day of February in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2020. And this is the morning show that, like Mike Bloomberg, is visibly irked. We are visibly irked.
And you can see that at x96.com/live.
This is, look at this. Look at this. This is irked.
Yeah.
It's the Radio from Hell show with Kerry Jackson. Look at irk on his face right now.
Right there.
That's irk. I'm Bill Allred. There's somebody who irks me right there, Gina Barberi.
Every day.
The lovely distaff part of the Radio from Hell show. Katie, for short, is the producer, and Hawk scared me to death this morning.
Did he?
Was he sneaky?
I don't know why it frightened me, but I came around the corner at the same time he did. He said good morning, and I went, jeez.
Oh, and Miriam's in there, too.
Oh, hi, Miriam. So, all right. Let's get on with the check-ins then at 877-602-9696.
Okay.
What's going on in your show today?
Let's go to Maverick.
Hey, Maverick, how are you?
How you guys doing?
Pretty well, considering.
No, I'm just calling in down here in Austin, Texas. I live up in Layton, but I figured I'd call in because you don't get very many phone calls from down in Texas, do you?
No.
Well, we wouldn't work out of this state, really.
What are you doing? What are you doing down there today, Maverick?
I demolish large-scale buildings, and so I'm demolishing a building down here for Texas University.
Do you do the kind of demolition where you put the explosive charges in it?
Yeah, I just did that over Christmas.
Wow.
Now you got to keep us alert. Do you film these or do you have them on video?
Absolutely. You can go on Facebook and look up Grant Mackey Demolition Company, and we should have a couple videos of implosions we've done there.
Grant Mackey Demolition Company.
Fun.
All right.
Yeah,
that's
we're
cool.
located out of Woods Cross.
That's cool. And you do this all over the world, I'll bet.
Yeah, all over the country.
All over the country.
Yeah, there it is, videos.
Of buildings
Yep.
imploding.
Time lapse.
Yeah.
Time lapse in Christchurch, New Zealand.
So-
You go all over the world.
So, Maverick, what portion of this work do you do?
I operate machines, and I do everything. I'm a foreman, laborer, and an operator. So
Do you actually put in explosive charges into the places?
no, that's a certified company that does that called CBI.
I see. So
okay.
you need
This is like
explosive experts to come in and do that part of it.
This is like heavy equipment that, scrapes it down.
Knocks
and-
it down.
Yeah.
Well, Maverick, thanks for checking in.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And thanks for listening to the show while you're down there.
Thank
See ya.
you, Maverick. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank
Let's go to Dawn. Hello, Dawn.
Dawn.
How's it going?
It's okay, Dawn. Everything is okay. Let's keep it that way, shall we?
Right?
Right?
That's what I said. That's what I said. What is the story of your life today, Dawn?
So I'm a plumber, and so I never know exactly where I'm going, what I'm doing, what I got to deal with every day. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the most unusual thing you've pulled out of a toilet, Dawn?
I pulled out a lot of kids' toys out of toilets.
Yeah.
Kids like to drop their toys in, and they get stuck right in the pee trap of the toilet.
What do you mean, kids? I kind of get.
You drop your toys in the
It's
toilet?
kind of fun to do it sometimes. Yeah. Well, Dawn, where are you? You're on the road. It sounds like. Where are you?
I'm traveling southbound on Legacy. I drive about 45 minutes every day to get to my shop, to meet up with my journeymans and do what I need to do.
Well, listen, Dawn, hang on the line for a second. We'll see that you get a Radio from Hell tote bag, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
you can put a lot of children's toys in them.
You can put your plumber's friend in there.
All right.
See you,
Thanks,
Dawn.
Don. Hang on.
Little plumber jokey kind of like that.
And the phone is not allowing me to put Dawn on hold.
Oh, no.
Dawn.
We've been having problems with this phone quite a bit lately, so
Is it time for a new one?
Call
might
back
be.
quickly. We're going to have to hang up on you, Dawn.
I'm not even sure if I can hang up. Well, let me see. Maybe the interface up here works.
And if we accidentally hang up on you, call back.
We'll get you your tote
It's
bag
okay,
one
Don.
way or the other.
Yeah, one way or the other. Call back or something.
Do
Yeah, I
something.
can't even hang up on him. Yeah, would you have Dave come in here and take a look at this, Katie, please?
And then the other line is ringing. Maybe.
And I don't know. All right.
Well, we're off to a stellar start.
Yes, we
Sure are.
So let's get some fun.
Crash on the exit ramp from westbound 201 freeway to Bangor Highway. The right shoulder is blocked. Crash northbound Mountain View corridor approaching Old Bingham Highway. The left lane and shoulder are blocked. Crash US 6 10th North and Spanish Fork. The right lane and shoulder blocked heading toward I-15. What the hell, people? This morning's just started. Let's knock it off, okay? Diversion Eatery for pizza, burgers, tacos, beer, wine, spirits. Enjoy live music tonight from 6 to 8. Open daily from 11 to 10. 3rd West, 535 North. DiversionEatery.com.
Okay, big boy news coming up. Geek news on the way as well. And at 7 o'clock, it's Beat Gina playing for Trevor Noah tickets, right?
Yep. That's tomorrow night.
Yes.
You better be thinking of a good prize to give to Gina, though, because that's how we pick a contestant. And because if you lose, you have to give Gina a prize. It's only fair.
Seems right. We'll get to that coming up. Scott Hale, Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Yeah, Scott Hale. I wonder if Don was, if he works for Scott Hale. Possible, I
Could
suppose.
be. Scott's got a lot of trucks.
And he, and Scott Hale, they have the journeymen and apprentices and stuff like that too. They're a solid operation at Scott Hale. Now, Hale has frozen over.
HALE.
Yeah, Scott Hale is. They have this free brewery deal. We're almost done with February, so you
But
better
get the deal done while it's still available.
You don't have to get this done, but just make sure you call and reserve it. If you buy a full central air system, you'll get a free furnace. February only. They did this last year too, and it was a big success. So call Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air today. It's 801-264-HALE, 264-HALE. Scott Hale, amazingly different, surprisingly better.
There, you've reached the offices of Carrie and me, Bill, the Radio from Hell guys. And if you have anything to say to us, we're not picking up, so wait for the beep.
All right, punch in the code.
We should change that message.
Yeah, tell it what we want to do. It'll rewind and play back our
If anybody's
messages.
called me.
All right, let's see.
Add it. Oh, there's one.
Hello, Bill. It's me, your mother.
My mom.
Now,
Hi, Mom.
you know that I don't mind you staying here at the house with me and your father,
Thanks,
but
Mom.
you've got to stop hiding the cat.
What?
Bill, if you're there, you'd better pick up. Bill,
Are you hiding?
where did you put that damn cat? You little bastard, where did you hide my cat?
Would you give her back her cat?
Carrie, this is Bill. And because you refuse to talk with any of your family or friends about this,
Don't
they've
listen to
asked
this one.
me to be their spokesman.
Well,
and because you won't talk to me about it face to face, I'll do it here on the answering
What?
machine.
I forgot
Carrie,
this.
please, don't have the surgery.
Oh, come on.
Think about it. We're not talking about something that's temporary. This is major surgery.
Don't do
Once you
it.
have this done, you can't go back to the way you were.
This is
It's
nobody's
forever.
business but
Please,
mine.
If you
all
won't
right?
listen to us, please talk to your therapist about it.
I already
do
have.
Don't have the surgery.
Would you just
Bye.
look? This is
I'm
none of
sorry
you guys.
that was on the air, but
None of you guys' business.
Hello?
hey, it's my dad.
Bill? It's me,
That's Warren.
Warren.
Yes,
I'm your father.
father. Yeah.
Now, I know I don't talk very much, but I'd like to say that I'm really grateful that you've done something with your mother's cat. I really don't care for that cat.
He doesn't like the
It's
cat.
always trying to sleep on my face and suck my breath out.
That's true, actually.
I wonder what he's eating there. Jeez.
Hello, this is Dr. Stevenson's office calling for Carrie Jackson.
Oh.
Mr. Jackson, I called to tell you that OR has been scheduled for your surgery.
Oh, good.
The operation will be January 23rd. That's a Monday.
Hey,
come on,
Report to
Carrie.
hospital check-in at 12 noon.
12 noon.
Surgery is scheduled for 2:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Your
What a
estimated
dope.
hospital recovery time will be about a week,
You're a
depending on
dope.
how fast you
Hey,
heal.
shut up,
If you
all
have any
right?
questions, please call us
You're
here
a
at the
dope
doctor's
to do
office.
it.
This is
Thank you.
nobody's business but mine.
You're a dope
all
to
right?
do it.
Hello, Mr. Allred. This is Bob Appleby, head of product research and development for the Loveco Cosmetics Company.
Are you selling
We'd
cos-
like to thank you for the donation of the fine cat. Thanks to you and your generosity, we'll be able to test a new line of mascara that will at last be safe and non-toxic on human eyes.
You gave the cat?
As a token of our appreciation, we're sending you a year's
What?
supply of Loveco lipsticks in assorted colors and flavors.
You gave
Thanks again for your support.
your mother's
A
cat?
year supply of lipstick. Cool. That's great.
Harry, hi, this is Miss Miller, your psychiatrist.
Oh.
You missed your appointment yesterday,
I
so I
know.
wanted to call you and tell you I think you're making a big mistake.
Told you.
Do
Look.
not go through with the surgery.
Look.
Told
Look,
ya.
I know your hero is Captain Kirk. I know how much you admire Captain Kirk. But for the love of God, having plastic surgery to make you look like Captain Kirk is psychotic.
Told ya.
It-
Don't have the surgery.
Told ya.
You
Call me at the office as soon as you get this. Thanks.
you people say
She's a paid professional.
that's all the messages.
I don't think we should do this again.
I think you're right.
For very
$6:34. We do have geek news coming up. Beat Gina at 7 o'clock. Be ready for that.
Trevor Noah tickets you could win.
Yeah. But right now, big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by
Tim Daly Auto Group, the home of the Forever Warranty. All new used vehicles at Tim Daly Infiniti, Tim Daly Ford, and all 3 Tim Daly Nissan locations.
Michaela Spielberg,
Ew.
23 years old, daughter of anybody? Anybody?
Mr. and Mrs. Spielberg.
I wish I hadn't seen this story.
Yes.
Mr. Spielberg and Ms. Capshaw.
Yes, Steven Spielberg. They adopted daughter.
Yeah. They have. She has revealed that she is starring in her own solo porn movies. The Nashville, Tennessee resident also announced to the Sun newspaper that she hopes to score a stripper gig as soon as she hustles up her sex worker license. Well, so she's going through the proper channels. The E.T. director's offspring says she told her famous folks about her close encounters with the X-rated kind over the weekend.
Guess what, Mom and Dad?
It's not my parents' fault, said Michaela, who was adopted by Steve and Kate as a baby. They couldn't have known. The self-proclaimed sexual creature told the outlet that she...
Jeez.
At least she has a sense of self-knowledge.
Self-proclaimed.
She got really tired of not being able to capitalize on her body, and frankly, I got really tired of being told to hate my body. The curvy adult entertainer has previously teased her foray into porn on her Instagram account, which has 1,000 followers. Wow. So she says, I like doing this kind of work. It's very satisfying.
Okay.
You know, a job well done at the end of the day.
Then why do you have to make a big announcement about it?
Because you're Steven Spielberg's daughter. That's why.
You know, I mean, you're an adult. You can do what you want, but...
That's the reason. What Gina is saying is, it's fine if you want to do that, but don't shove it in my face.
Well, or why do you have to announce to your parents you're doing it? Why does that have to happen?
Well, maybe it's because she said, I'd like you to hear this from me before you see it somewhere else. Maybe that would be the case. She seems to have no animosity towards her parents. I don't know how.
And who knows? Maybe she's really good at it.
I haven't seen her work.
Could be.
So I guess I shouldn't
I don't
judge.
Ozzy Osbourne says he's in unbelievable pain.
Oh.
And I am too, after listening to a little bit of his new song with Post Malone. What's it called? I can't think of it now. It's called Stage Fright or Emergency Ambulance or something like that.
That's it.
Something like that. Anyway, he says 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm in pain. Not gonna, and probably not gonna get better.
You know, Ozzy, just go to a beach somewhere and just, you know.
You're good. You've done it all. You don't need to do anything
He
else.
has Parkinson's disease. He has a bad back and neck from a fall he took. You know, he was driving one of those bikes that old people drive in when they live in trailer parks. You know, the big two big wheels on the back.
The tricycle?
Yeah, it's a big tricycle essentially. I don't know how he managed to get into an accident on one of those, but he did.
It's Ozzy.
Yeah.
Well, it's three-wheel if you take the corner wrong.
That's what it is.
I've been there. Jeff had one of those.
Brigham Young University has attempted to clarify some changes made to the honor code.
No, don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, because I read this last night and I'm like, are you sure?
Well, no, I didn't read it. I saw the pictures start to pop up of
there's girl kissing on the campus at BYU.
Yeah.
So they are attempting to now clarify some changes made to the honor code. Don't get all gay on us, they're saying.
Hold on there.
What those changes mean for the LGBT students at BYU, and there are probably more than you think.
They all started talking yesterday.
After the school removed the section on homosexual behavior from the university's code of conduct. BYU, which is owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
First time hearing.
That's what it says here. Updated its honor code yesterday in conjunction with a new handbook released by the church the same day. The church's new handbook, which offers guidelines for church leaders, takes a more adaptable and ministerial approach to administrative procedures. The update to the honor code was made in an effort to, quote, be in alignment with the doctrine and policies of the church, according to a news release from the school. However, the school later sent a tweet to clarify the changes after students on social media posted their conclusions of what the change meant. As part of the code's update, the school removed the section on homosexual behavior, which previously had stated that homosexual behavior is inappropriate and violates the honor code. While same-gender attraction is not an honor code violation, all forms of physical intimacy that give expression to homosexual feelings are against the honor code. That was the old code.
Mm-hmm.
The new honor code, or the honor code now simply states or requires that students abstain from any sexual relations outside of a marriage between a man and a woman. Therefore, those two young women kissing in front of the statue, they didn't read this change very closely, did they? Because it says it's any form of sexual relations outside of marriage between a man and a woman, among other requirements that existed before the change. So you got to abstain from any of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a man or a woman or two women, or you need to abstain.
Not sure.
I don't know why they changed it.
Yeah, not sure what all this means.
I don't know. Is it that things are going to get easier for?
I don't think so.
There were. I saw a couple of comments that say, "Well, it'll be easier for me. I won't have to feel frightened when it's known that I like to date boys." One guy said. I think you still will have to worry about it.
Yeah,
but we'll see. It'll fall out some more. You'll see. Senator Mike Lee. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
For 40 minutes, no one at Senator Mike Lee's first town hall meeting in Salt Lake County since impeachment mentioned his vote to acquit the president. Then Draper resident Chad Dutton decided to tell the senator what he thought, and he got a somewhat testy response from Mike Lee. "We have an administration that, in my opinion, is the most deceitful and divisive we've ever had," said Mr. Dutton. "It doesn't help saying there is a deep state conspiracy," which Mike Lee has said.
Yes.
And that deep state didn't withhold money from Ukraine and then ask for a favor, Dutton said.
Mm-hmm.
Dutton, a self-described political independent, then asked for his own favor. "Would you, the next time you see Senator Mitt Romney," he said to Mike Lee, "thank him for his courage," as the only Republican to vote for impeachment. Half the crowd cheered. That's at a Mike Lee town hall. Dutton also blamed the partisan divide in Washington largely on uncompromising stands by Senator Lee and Ted Cruz. "I don't appreciate your suggestion," Lee responded. "People need to be able to disagree and do so respectfully without being blamed for the cause of all the problems in government." Lee said Democrats have used the same tactics as him and Cruz. They shut down the government that they just weren't blamed for it by most people in the mainstream media. He added that the deep state, defined by the dictionary as an alleged secret network of non-elected officials and sometimes other private entities covertly trying to mold U.S. policy,
aren't we
does
there?
exist, by the way, he said. Mike Lee said. It does exist,
He
says
believes
Mike
in
Lee.
conspiracy theories. Okay.
Sarah Buck, a teacher, told Lee that she hears constantly from children who comment on the bad example the president is setting in things such as honesty and civility.
Yep.
"Your silence makes it seem acceptable," she said to
Yes.
Senator Lee. "Everyone is watching, including children." Lee responded by saying, "Ms. Buck's concerns show why federalism, that is spreading power among the states and not centralizing it in the federal government, is important and helps to prevent anyone from having too much power." Well, you're not checking his powers, Buck said.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
glad people are standing up to him.
You regularly allow him to do things no president has ever done, she said.
Exactly.
Lee said he swore an oath to defend separation of powers, and I defended it when I voted a few months ago to check his powers when it comes to the use of the National Emergencies Act. But, yeah. Oh, and Lee also attacked the proposed Equal Rights Amendment. He's saying it's a cover, it's a front for abortion.
It's a front.
Yeah.
There are no
For
words in
abortion.
there
There's-
about
yeah.
abortion.
I disagree with the Equal Rights Amendment. He said about...
There's nothing. That is the oldest propaganda from the 70s.
By passing this amendment, we would be upending decades of legal precedent that makes these things clear. His argument, and other people argue, all the things that the Equal Rights Amendment says, the very simple thing that it says, have already been passed into law. So then why not pass the Equal
I was
Rights
going to say,
Amendment?
pass it and just say, yeah, we did it. If it doesn't make a difference, then say, yeah, we did it.
But equating it to abortion, there is nothing in there that
Here's
has
exactly
anything
what he
to do
said
with it.
about that.
Okay.
He said putting into their place a radical pro-abortion agenda. That's what it is. It's a
There's
radical
nothing in
pro-abortion agenda. ERA opponents argue that it would force the government to fund abortions. There's no...
Doesn't force anybody to...
This is a guy who earlier in the evening said that there's a secreted, group.
He read the he read the original version of the bill, which said, people shall not be discriminated against on the basis of sex, and the federal government will have to pay for abortions. That's in the Equal Rights Amendment, you guys. I don't know what you're talking about, Gina. Speaking of the deep state, Donald Trump has named somebody named Richard Grenell as the ambassador to Germany. He is the ambassador to Germany as the director of national intelligence.
Oh, so we're stuck with Chris Stewart still?
Yeah, but this is
That's
interesting.
the one he was supposed to get.
Grinnell has no experience at all, zero experience in intelligence work.
Great.
There are Republicans, along with Democrats, of course, but there are Republicans who have privately said, and they've said this to news people and so forth, this guy is not who should be running this department. This is terrible. Then why don't those Republicans start stepping up? They can see what Trump is doing. Why do they let him keep doing it? Mr. Grinnell has no experience in intelligence or in running a large bureaucracy. But by picking him, the president signaled he wants a trusted, aggressive leader. He wants somebody who's very loyal to him.
Yeah. Yes. That's all that matters.
And that's Grinnell.
Someone who will do his bidding.
Yeah. And so all of those deep state people who are working under Grinnell, we'll show them. We'll put a buffoon in charge. Let's see, one other story?
Sure.
Yesterday we had the story about jars of human tongues found in a crawl space underneath a home in Florida. A human brain in a jar was discovered in a Canadian mail truck.
Abby somebody.
As it crossed the border into Port Huron, according to Customs and Border Protection. On February 14th, they say the truck was crossing the border into Port Huron, sending the truck to the centralized examination station in Marysville. A routine check flagged a shipment listed as antique teaching specimen as suspicious. Chris Grogan, Public Affairs Director for the CBP, confirmed to Global News that it was a Canadian Post truck that contained the specimen. Information received Canadian Post was little less clear. We cannot confirm whether the vehicle was transporting the item was carrying a Canadian Post product without the specific trailer number of the vehicle, blah, 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 blah. But what we do know is there's a human brain in a jar. There's no word here exactly as to why there is a human brain in a jar in this truck or where it was going. It wasn't going to Florida.
It makes you wonder how many jars of human body parts there are.
Well, they drove
like, everywhere.
A couple of people drove Einstein's brain in a jar across the country.
Yeah.
Isn't that a book called Driving with Einstein's Brain or something like that? Yeah.
Sports, weather, traffic.
It's Katrubis Volkswagen's payment match promise. They promise your payments will match what you're paying for your new Volkswagen. It's just that simple. Katrubis Volkswagen, your payments equal the advertised price. Well, the wild ending to Monday's 62nd running of the Daytona 500 featured a scary accident near the finish line that left Ryan Newman in serious condition. Well, he was released from the hospital yesterday, walked out with his two daughters. Looks like he's doing just fine. Weather, it is cold right now. We've got 21 degrees. I saw up in Park City and some places up there were below zero. Very, very cold. And we've had good air up to this point, but now we've had this same pattern for a while, which means the haze will start building and we'll have worse and worse air quality probably until Saturday, Sunday, into Monday when there's a chance of snow. So time to start thinking again about limiting your driving and idling as the air gets worse. Traffic, we've got a crash northbound I-15, 13th south. Cars are blocking the HOV lane and left shoulder. Also, accident exit ramp westbound 201 freeway to the Bangor Highway. That's affecting the right shoulder there. We've got a crash northbound I-15, 13th south in Salt Lake. Signal problems State Street and 7th south. Treat that as a four-way stop. Woohoo! Lucky's Auto Credit, 77 cents in a job gets you a car. That's awesome. They'll front the tax, title, and license. 77 cents total to drive away today. Apply online at luckysautocredit.com. Woohoo!
Beat Gina coming up. You can play trivia against Gina. You might win Trevor Noah tickets. We'll have that for you in about 15 minutes, but you can line up now if you'd like, 877-602-9696. Go ahead. Geek News brought to you by
Hale has frozen over, so call Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air for a free HVAC second opinion. 801-264-HALE. That's HALE to schedule your appointment today.
All right. Brand new episode of GeekShowPodcast.com available now. Harrison Ford is out promoting Call of the Wild.
Which looks terrible.
I think, is Sean reviewing it today, or is that Nick? Yeah, he is reviewing it today, so he'll let you know. So Sean Means will review that coming up at about 7:45. But while he's out promoting Call of the Wild, he's being asked about, well, of course, he gets asked about Indiana Jones. Yeah. And he said all he said is we're starting in the summer. Now, that doesn't mean filming.
That means talking?
That could mean anything.
Okay.
And he hasn't been specific. But one question he did get that I loved, that he was very specific about.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the latest Star Wars movie, tune away, because this is spoilers.
Okay.
So in the movie, Kylo Ren is confronted by a vision of his deceased father, Han Solo.
Right.
This caught me. I did not expect this.
No.
I did not know this was happening. As you know, and Kylo is wavering back and forth toward the light side or the dark side and all of that.
Yeah.
So bad Star Wars fans have been debating, how did Han come back? Even though it's clearly addressed in the movie, they still want to debate it.
Okay.
Because Han taps on his forehead and goes, "This is all inside your head." He says words to that effect.
Yeah.
This is happening inside your head. Mm-hmm. So Harrison Ford gets similar questions. He says, when J.J. Abrams asked me to do it, I said, "Are you kidding? I'm dead." And J.J. said, "Well, you're sort of dead. You can do this."
You're mostly dead.
You're mostly. He hadn't written anything yet.
Your memory is still, the memory of you is still alive.
Yeah, but he said, "This is going to be great." So I said, "Okay, if J.J. Abrams asks you to do something, you do it." He's a very persuasive guy. So the debate is whether or not Han's return is either a figment of Ben's imagination or, admittedly as dead as Star Wars characters are wont to do, as a Force ghost.
A what?
Which is what Luke was.
Yeah.
At some point. He was a Force ghost.
A Force ghost.
Okay.
Yes.
When he walked through, okay.
Which is weird because Han is not Force sensitive. Okay? So Harrison Ford is asked about it. He says, "A Force ghost? I don't know what a Force ghost is." "Don't tell anyone. I'm not talking loud enough for your recorder. I have no effing idea what a Force ghost is, and I don't care."
Well, where's he going to get his motivation to play it if he doesn't understand it?
He said the reason that he came back to do it is because it was going to help Adam Driver's character development. That's why he did it.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's one scene.
It's one scene. Let's not get caught up in this. Another great candid interview. While people are out promoting other movies and being asked about geeky films, Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
We had this story yesterday.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't hear it. He was out promoting this latest film that he's in, and he's asked about Batman. Because he was Batman. I thought he was a good Batman.
Yeah, sure.
I liked Batfleck.
Yeah, he was fine.
Mm-hmm. So he was asked about it, and he confirmed in 2019 he was retiring as Batman. It ended all the speculation about his future as Batman. And in this interview in the New York Times, he explains that his reasons for leaving the project, which at one point he was going to star in and direct, a Batman solo film.
Oh, yeah.
He was asked about it, and he said, well, I showed somebody the Batman script, and they said the script is good. But do you remember what you went through with Justice League and Batman v Superman? I think that if you continue in this role, you will drink yourself to death if you go through what you just went through again.
And I don't think that was a casual comment. I think that was a serious, I think you will drink yourself to death.
Yes.
Hasn't he found other reasons to drink himself to death since then?
Also, yes, Gina, you can watch the new Battlestar Galactica. I've given you permission to watch the one from 2004.
I know, you're just worried I'll ruin things, so.
Well, this one, it's done now, so you
Okay.
can't ruin it.
Okay.
And I can help you. But there is a new Battlestar Galactica project
Just
that
a
is coming up.
standalone movie?
It's going to be probably a series, and it's
Okay.
the guy from Mr. Robot, Sam Esmail,
Mm-hmm.
is doing it.
He's Egyptian.
And he he called up Ronald D. Moore, who
He's English.
who's English, who did the Battlestar Galactica that is just some of the best sci-fi, I think, in 2004. And he says, Sam called me, was very gracious. He didn't pitch me the story, so I don't know what he's doing. But he said that he said what his plans were, and he wasn't going to restart the show and recast it, but he wanted to do something in the same universe. And he says, I love Mr. Robot, so I was like, you're an amazing guy and an amazing writer. Go ahead.
By your command.
Could say that. So you're getting more Battlestar Galactica. And good news for our attorney, Ed Brass. Last thing we have here.
Is it something to do with Conan?
Well, you know, he has several loves.
Conan and
Conan is
Hitler.
one.
Hitler.
And Godzilla is the other.
Oh, and Godzilla, yeah.
So you're getting Godzilla Monopoly.
Godzilla
Godzilla
Monopoly.
Monopoly, which I don't understand because Monopoly is about building buildings instead of tearing them down. But there you go,
I
Ed.
kind of like that.
Godzilla-themed Monopoly.
Yeah.
They have many, many versions of Monopoly. I have several at home. But you're getting a Godzilla-themed one, so
About time.
there you go. That means little pieces that are of the monsters.
Yeah, I like it. Crash northbound I-15 13th South. The cars are blocking the HOV lane, and the left shoulder is blocked. Signal problem State Street 7th South and Salt Lake. Treat that as a four-way stop. Crash westbound SR 201 Bangor Highway off-ramp. And let's see. Crash. No, I think that one's cleared up. So that's it. Unless you want to share something, you can do that via text at 33986. Injured in an accident? Everyone deserves an advocate. Call 801-355-5550 or go to utahadvocates.com.
When we play Monopoly, I want to be Mothra.
You can. There will be a Mothra piece.
I want to be Mothra.
All right, we got Beat Gina coming up after this. Stand by to play trivia. I haven't even told you what the trivia subject
No, what is it?
yet. Backstreet Boys.
Oh, Katie's very excited
Well,
about
She has a thing for
She has-
Lance Bass.
No, she has a thing
No.
for Brian Luttrell.
Oh,
Oh.
look at her.
Was
oh,
Joey,
my-
was Joey Fat One in?
I don't know.
Was he one of the Backstreet
That may
Boys?
be part of the
that's,
trivia.
No, that's in sync.
Oh, that's in.
Get your boy bands right.
See,
Bill.
that may be part of the trivia.
Oh, okay.
All right. Stand by for that. Okay, Shamrock Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
ShamrockPlumbing.net. That's their website. For more than 30 years, Shamrock Plumbing has been the contractor that Utahns can trust.
We talked to a plumber this morning, and we said, "What kind of stuff are you pulling out of toilets?" He said, "Kids' toys." So if your kids stuff their toys in the toilet, you call Shamrock Plumbing.
Shamrock Plumbing doesn't employ just salespeople that work off commissions. They have technicians that are trained to take care of the problem at hand and not the problem that you might have 2 or 3 years down the road. Call Shamrock Plumbing for pricing if you're in the market for a water heater or a water softener or a purification system too, because they will beat anybody's price. Big jobs, little jobs, it doesn't matter. Shamrock Plumbing can handle it. So if you're looking for, and we've all used them and will continue to do so. So call Shamrock Plumbing for your plumbing emergencies, 801-295-1690, or go to shamrockplumbing.net.
I was so angry Saturday night. After I went to the Warped Tour, I went to a party, and I think it was about 10 o'clock at night. I get home, and I'm out. I was out on the sidewalk. It's not important why. 10 o'clock, out on the sidewalk, and what do I see coming across the street? a raccoon, and there's a lot of traffic, and he's coming right toward my house.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of traffic,
Yeah.
and the lights in the car honked, and the raccoon kind of, like this, and I thought, God, hit him! I was hoping the car had hit him, but it missed him.
Yeah.
And he came, and I'm standing 20 feet away from him.
Yeah.
And he came running, and he ran, and I started yelling at him, and he ran right up my tree, the one that's in my front yard. I have a gigantic, like
Bill treed a coon.
a 50-foot tree. Yeah, I treed a coon. I was yelling, you son of a, get back here!
Bill lives where the red fern grows.
I was just so mad, and he ran up the damn tree, and they're everywhere. God.
I think they've declared war on you.
I
frankly,
think
but
they have.
Coming to get you.
It's like birds have declared war on my wife. Raccoons.
No kidding.
Declared war on you.
He got he stopped and growled at the car. I swear to God he did.
Pyro!
Get away!
Shake his fist. Roadhog!
His
little birdie finger.
one of his little bandit hands,
Bird finger.
Their hands are almost human,
They have them,
But ran right up the tree in front of my house. God, that made me
What are
mad.
you gonna do?
Did your wife lock you out again? You sleep on the porch. Was it one of those?
No.
No?
Oh, why I was on this?
Why
Yeah.
you're out on the front porch?
I was
No.
taking the night air.
He's
I was
farting.
taking in the night air.
He's out farting.
Yeah. I'll be back in a while, honey. I gotta go take the night air.
He's right, isn't he?
No,
Taking the night wind.
No.
Is what it is.
No, I wasn't.
There's a breeze. Let me just put it that way.
Man, I live in the city. I don't
You
need
shouldn't
this
have- no,
crap.
You have to move to the country to get away from the coons.
No kidding. It just drives me crazy.
I tell you, we haven't had any raccoon problems since Van's dog Chase killed one in the
Yeah.
backyard, and ever since then
They know.
they're gone.
I believe that when I start trap, I should go home and set up a trap, and
Yeah.
because if I trap a couple of them, they kind of lay off for a while.
Well, then that means you have to keep trapping them.
I know.
Got to send a message.
I know. I got the trap there. I just haven't. I'll set it, and Brian will come and get them.
I want reliable people who aren't gonna get carried away.
This is years you've been dealing with
I
this.
just hate it.
Got to send a message to the coon community.
I haven't seen one of the cats for quite a while. The
Rush or G. Gordon, you mean?
one. Yeah, Rush is. I haven't seen Rush for a week. Baby Rush is finally gone.
You know, raccoon will kill a cat.
I don't know.
I know.
They've been coexisting for a
Well,
while.
no, I mean one of the Rush has been injured by the raccoon. I assume it's the raccoons. Before I've taken him to the vet a couple of times with injuries. It just drives me crazy.
Well, got to kill one. Got to kill one. Send a message.
Spill blood.
I'm gonna just sprinkle raccoon blood on the threshold.
Well, where you gonna get that raccoon blood, huh?
From a raccoon, I guess.
You gotta bleed one.
Can't you buy it at Sportsman's Warehouse? Or
No,
something?
that's urine, and that will attract them. I'm sorry.
Man.
And now it's time for someone to play Beat Gina, brought to you today by Zero Res. Zero Res leaves no dirt attracting residues behind, so your carpets stay cleaner longer. Schedule your cleaning today for just $33 per room. Minimums apply. Apply online at zeroreslc.com. And today, one lucky contestant will win tickets to see Trevor Noah. X96 welcomes Trevor Noah to the Maverick Center on February 21st. Tickets are on sale now, but make sure you listen to Radio from Hell every day for your chance to win a pair of tickets to that show. Get all the details at x96.com. And now it's time to kneel before the god of game show hosts, who has been carried into the studio on the golden litter borne on the backs of adoring sycophants. Wow. He is the host of hosts, the ray of light in the game show outer darkness. His voice will lead you to the right path of game show glory.
Wow.
He is Kerry Jack Jackson.
Oh, thank you, Johnny.
Hear that applause?
It's faint, but I hear it. There we go. Thank you. All right, it is time to play Beat Gina. Here is how we pick our contestants. It's based solely on the prize that Gina is going to, that they're going to give Gina if Gina beats them at trivia.
Yeah, Johnny, you said one lucky winner will get Trevor Noah tickets. Not necessarily. If I beat them, I get the prize. They don't get anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think we all know how this goes, Barbary.
Far be it from me to say that this is just an excuse to give away a prize.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But here we go. Line 1 is offering you Darla's Donuts.
Oh.
Those were pretty good, as I recall.
Yes.
Line 2 is offering you a fine box of wine and a road home donation. And line 3 is offering to bring everyone donuts.
What?
So...
But I do like the Darla's donuts.
You do?
Let's do the Darla's donuts.
Passing up a box of wine, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. That means you'll be playing against Amanda today. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
Hi there. Amanda, you do get a distinct advantage in the game if you go first, so I'll toss a coin and let you call it heads or tails.
All right.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
It is heads. She goes first, Gina.
And that's a distinct advantage.
Yes. This first question, then, Amanda, is exclusively for you to answer. And if you get it right, you get the point. If you don't get it right, Gina gets a chance to answer it correctly and steal the point away. And we'll go back and forth like that until somebody hits 3 points. Here we go. Today is Brian Luttrell's birthday.
That's Katie's favorite.
Katie's favorite Backstreet Boy. So,
which Backstreet did Katie meet him on?
So here we go. Backstreet Boys trivia. Amanda, how many times have the Backstreet Boys had a song that has topped the charts? And when I say top the charts, I mean number 1 on the charts.
Okay.
How many times? Is the answer A? Never. They're the Backstreet Boys. I mean, come on. B, twice. C, 4 times. Or D, 98 times.
C.
4 times?
Sure.
Incorrect. Gina.
Well, then I'm going to go with 2 times.
Twice is the correct answer.
I do that. It's 1-0 for
You
Gina.
didn't know that, Johnny. You figured it out like I did. You didn't know that.
I figured it out before you did. It's Gina's question. She leads 1-0.
Gina.
Yeah.
In what year did the Backstreet Boys sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl?
Okay.
Was it A, 1995, B, 2098, C, 2001, or D, never? I mean, they're the Backstreet Boys. Come on.
Well, 2001.
Correct.
It's 2-0. Amanda, you do control the question. This is a chance to claw your way back into the game.
Amanda? Which of the Backstreet Boys are cousins? Is it A, Brian and Kevin, B, Brian and Howie, C, Reed and Victor, or D, all the Backstreet Boys are cousins?
B.
Brian and Howie?
Was this an educated guess, or are you
Sure.
just stabbing in the dark?
That is incorrect.
Stabbing in the dark.
That is incorrect, I'm afraid.
Gina, a chance to win.
A?
Brian and Kevin is correct.
Oh,
Gina
Amanda.
sweeps the game. Sorry, no Trevor Noah tickets for you.
What?
But you have to bring in the donut. From where? are
Darla's
those?
Donuts.
Darla's Donuts.
Amanda, if you're coming all the way, because I know Darla's Donuts is kind of far from the radio station.
Where is Darla's Donuts?
It's about nearest main streets are Redwood and 2100 South.
Yeah, see, that's kind of far away. And if you're going to all the trouble of bringing those donuts in,
This is unprecedented.
you'll have to do it today or tomorrow, because the show is tomorrow night. We'll go ahead and give you those Trevor Noah tickets. I don't usually do that.
Not usually. This is unprecedented.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And I will definitely bring those donuts because they are amazing.
All right.
Amanda, this is Johnny saying, so long.
Johnny, is that how... Hang on, Amanda. We'll put you on hold. Is that... see, now I'm unable to put her on hold.
Oh, so we are still having...
We are having this fun.
Amanda, just hang on the line, and we'll do this when we go off to do commercials. We'll get your information.
Oh, is Bill back?
Yeah, Johnny's out. You heard it. You heard him say goodbye to Amanda.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we'll get your information here in the studio. We'll have Katie come in and get it, unless she can pick up line 1 in there, and I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that. Oh, thank you.
Crash northbound I-15 13 South in Salt Lake. Left shoulder affected there. Signal problem State Street and 7th South. If they haven't got that fixed yet, please treat it as a 4-way stop. Big O knows tires can be an unexpected expense. That's why we have no credit needed financing. No matter your budget or situation, they can help. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Boners round 1 coming up. Here are the candidates. Boner candidate number 1. I got to work on my parking skills. Number 2. One day the only place I'll be able to smoke is on the moon. And number 3. Money well spent.
Round 1 of your boners, big boy news, all coming up after these. Okay, so you watched the Democratic debates last night. I know a lot of people were waiting to watch those so that they could decide who to vote for on Super Tuesday.
Vote.utah.gov. That's all the information you need to figure out how to vote in the state of Utah.
You can still register. You can still get a ballot.
Well, you can check to see if you're still registered.
You can register on the day of March 3rd.
But don't wait. Do it today. Or like Carrie said, maybe you're not sure. And some people have been kicked off the registration
for one
some
reason or another,
You
yeah.
moved. Maybe they can't find you. So.
This is the first time since 2012 Utah has held a primary presidential election to narrow down the candidates before November. More than a third of the United States population will be voting on Super Tuesday, March 3rd. So register online at your county clerk's office by February 25th. Which county clerk do you go to? Well, go to vote.utah.gov and find out there.
X96 has a
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of two such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders. episode, we find an old adversary of Butch and Lehigh planning their demise.
So, bounty hunter, you will bring me Christiansen?
Jabba the Hutt was very fond of his Rancor. He would pay me more for a complete set of missionaries.
Christiansen made me look weak in front of the Emperor. Only by turning Christiansen to the dark side will I be able to regain my place by the Emperor's side.
One Elder Jensen.
Sell him to that slug, Jabba. I have arranged to have the elders meet you on Bespin. There you can ambush them without anyone noticing.
If these elders bested you and the Emperor, how do you expect me to transport them back to you?
I prefer my elders frozen. There is a carbonite facility on Cloud City. That should make transporting them simple.
Have my credits ready. I'll be right back. Here we are, Butch. Cloud City. It sure looks like the holograms they showed us in school.
I don't know, Lehigh. I always get nervous when I stand on a city that's floating miles above the surface. Are you sure this is the right place?
Zone Leader Hanson said that we're supposed to meet someone here named Lando Calrissian, right here on Bespin.
Well, church records on this Calrissian fellow show him to be a gambler, smuggler, womanizer, and a penny stock manipulator. Are you sure this is the guy?
Well, maybe he's ready to turn over a new leaf. Oh, I think that's him right there.
Hi, and welcome to Cloud City. I'm Lando Calrissian. I run the mining operation here on Bespin. Could I offer you a beverage? Perhaps some malt?
I love a malt.
Liquor?
Oh, no, we don't drink, Mr. Calrissian. I'm Elder Christiansen, and this is Elder Jensen.
Hi.
We represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know, the Mormons.
Now, our zone leader said that you might be interested in learning more about our religion.
Actually, no. We have some common acquaintances. I've made a deal with the Empire. Well, they'll leave me alone if I introduce you to this guy over here. Elders, this is Boba Fett. Boba Fett, Elders Christiansen and Jensen there. Gotta go now. Got a city to run. Bye-bye.
Well, Mr. Fett was up. Well, hi, I'm... Hey, I'm all tied up.
Cool toy. I need to get me one of those. We could convert more people if we could just tie them up first.
Now, Butch, I don't think we would be allowed to hog-tie prospective converts. Excuse me, Mr. Fett, could you untie me now?
One down, one to go.
Don't push my companion in that hole!
Whoa!
What have you done to my companion? Is Butch dead?
No, he wouldn't be worth much to me dead. Jabba wants to see him die in person. Your companion is frozen in carbonite. Now, if you would be so kind as to throw yourself down in there, we can get on with this.
You're going to take us both back to Jabba's palace?
No, you have an appointment with Darth Vader and the Emperor.
Cousin Darth? Oh, my.
Hey, get over here.
Sorry about this, Butch, but I need you to do something for me. Don't push me over.
Ah!
Oh, I guess you weighed more than I thought in this thing, Butch. I'm sorry, Mr. Fat. I hope my companion, who's now frozen in carbonite, wasn't too heavy. Oh, geez, what do I got to do now? I better go for some help.
Never leave your companion, Lehigh.
Mr. Kenobi?
It is the first rule. You must never leave your companion.
Obi-Wan! Come back, I need some help. Oh, well, I guess I can put you on my luggage rack like this, Butch. Come on, let's go. Will Butch be able to serve out the rest of his mission frozen in carbonite? Can Lehigh really find a big microwave to defrost him in? Will Darth Vader ever get his revenge and once again become the Emperor's favorite lapdog? And where does Boba Fett get all those neat gizmos? Tune in next time to hear Butch say... on the next mind-numbing episode of Space Elders!
And you will need that information here for this. Round one of your boners. Here we go. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, funny human behavior. Boner means mistake, of course. And you will have to decide of these 3 stories, these 3 candidates, which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, it secures a spot in Boner Dome. Round 2 happens at 8:20. 3 more, 3 different candidates. Get a winner there. We'll take both winners and put them against each other for boner fight at 9:20 this morning is when you decide boner of the day. Right now, you're picking the champion for round 1. Choose wisely. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
tickets to see Pee-wee at Kingsbury Hall on February 22nd. There's a screening of the movie and a panel discussion with, yes, he'll be there, Paul Rubens. You can purchase your tickets now, or maybe you'll win some from us being a random boner voter.
Boner candidate number 1. I got to work on my parking skills. Boise, Idaho. A man, it says suspected of, he did it, crashing his Ford Mustang into a truck and 10 other vehicles in a parking garage, has been arrested. Demaria Dawkins of Livermore, California, faces a list of charges, including felony malicious injury to property, reckless driving, failure to notify upon striking an unattended vehicle, and possession of an open container of alcohol. What are the odds? Dawkins also had a felony arrest warrant out. According to Boise police, Mr. Dawkins fled the scene after Friday night's crashes, and eventually ditched his car in a ditch after causing additional damage to a light pole and a traffic control sign. Mr. Dawkins was arrested in Idaho City Wednesday afternoon and transported to the jail where he was booked. He was in a parking garage, yellow Mustang, and he's just crashing into various cars, trying to figure out either how to park or how to get out of the garage. It's unclear as to what's going on, why this mayhem is happening. I think it's because of the title of this boner candidate. I got to work on my parking skills. Here's boner candidate number 2. One day the only place I'll be able to smoke is on the moon. In a suburban county, is one suburban county going too far? This is Riverhead, New York. They are trying to legislate smoking in one's own home. Hoping to be the most progressive county in the state of New York, Suffolk County is proposing a law that would snuff out secondhand smoke in apartment complexes, condominiums, and multifamily dwellings.
Oh, where you share walls and...
Well, and multifamily dwellings.
Multifamily dwellings is like a duplex.
Smoking is already banned in many public places and near schools and office buildings, but there are no smoke-free laws for apartment buildings, condos, or two-family homes. Let's be clear, any legislation there is a vote required that would have an impact on preventing the public or innocent people who have made a choice not to smoke from being exposed to smoke, I will support that legislation, said Suffolk legislator and physician Dr. William Spencer. Spencer, who is also a medical doctor, said secondhand smoke can permeate through cracks in walls and electrical lines and plumbing and ventilation systems. Statistics show that more than 3,000 non-smokers in New York die each year from heart and lung cancer, heart disease and lung cancer caused by secondhand smoke. So the law would propose, even though you may own the condo, it shares a wall.
You share a wall and a ventilation
no smoking
system.
When asked if the proposed legislation was going too far, one legislator said, no, it's not going too far. We're heading in that direction anyway. We can't smoke in restaurants. We can't smoke in buildings. We can't smoke inside theaters. There are parks and beaches where you can't smoke. That's where we're headed. Boner candidate number 2. One day the only place we'll be able to smoke is on the moon.
I don't think you can smoke on the moon.
There are no signs yet.
No, I don't think like science won't let you smoke.
No air, so there's no...
Gina, Carrie, this is sort of what makes that funny. I mean, sort of funny. Sort of funny. Not real funny, But you want to try and ruin the funny
No,
with science? Go
I
ahead.
ruin the funny with
Science ruins the funny all
Okay,
the time.
that's my
Science
sign-off, by
ruins the
way.
funny.
All the time.
Well, yeah, no, it does every time.
Every time.
Coming up in a moment, boner candidate.
Oh,
excuse me, boner candidate number 3. Money well spent.
All right, boner candidate number 3 for round 1. Coming up after this, big boy news and opinioendo.
I will tell you with boner candidate number 3.
Yes.
If you can possibly either go to x96.com live or to our website somehow and see the picture of this person that I'm going to mention in the boner candidate, it would be helpful. Well,
Okay.
I mean, I'll describe it.
All right. So that's coming up after this big boy news and opinioendo, brought to you by.
now through February 21st at Level 9 Sports, get 25% off all winter apparel, ski accessories, and consignment gear, free bindings on skis over 500 and snowboards over 450. Always the lowest price guaranteed. Level9sports.com.
Well, fitting into Hollywood body standards doesn't come easy to Drew Barrymore. And she says, now at the age of 45, I've accepted that. The actress and mom of 2 is speaking openly about her body struggles on Instagram for what she's calling her Wellness Week, #Wellness Week. And on Wednesday, she talked about the roller coaster of my body, as she put it. Barrymore said that her body has changed significantly over the years, especially during her pregnancies. I go up, I go down. The roller coaster of my body is a challenging, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful ride.
Good for you, Drew.
I made 2 kids. The single most important purpose for me being on this planet is for them. It's a true miracle I was able to have these 2 girls, so whatever the aftermath on my body, well, bring it on, she wrote.
Good for you.
The star of the Santa Clarita Diet, which I believe has been canceled, said that she really had to work to get back to her pre-baby body after her pregnancies, and pointed out that all celebrities get a ton of help getting back to, isn't it? It's amazing. She
Because
was
if she's
pregnant.
on a-
She's already sprung back to,
If you're on a TV
Yeah.
show, especially,
Yeah.
they will have a team of people
Yeah.
sent to your house to.
She says, don't be fooled by what you see when people are thin right after having a baby, Hollywood people. Don't compare yourself to the magazines and the red carpets. If I looked decent on anything I've done since I had my 2 kids, I had to claw my way there. You can too, however, it is hard to sustain, and it can take a lot of the joy out of life, she said.
That's why I haven't clawed my way back yet.
I don't. You have to work on your claws, I think. So Gina, here, case. So we've been keeping our eye on this.
What's that?
Tooele City Police have released their final press release in the case of Paul Mathers, the Tooele man whose body was found inside of a freezer.
Oh yes.
In the home of his dead wife. On November 22nd, police were dispatched to Remington Park Apartments for a welfare check on a woman who'd not been seen in weeks. When police arrived at the residence, they found that 75-year-old Jean Soren Mathers was dead in her bed. And then they found Paul Mathers' body wrapped in a garbage bag stored inside of a freezer.
It had been there for years.
When the body was taken out of the garbage bag, police found another garbage bag around his head, tightly duct tape around his neck. The medical examiner report stated that it was unclear whether the bag was placed around his head before or after death. The report also states that an asphyxial cause of death can't be ruled out, but a definitive cause of death has not been determined, and my guess is probably never will be. Mathers' body is believed to have been inside the freezer for over 10 years.
That's a good freezer.
Police have narrowed down the timeline on when they believe Mr. Mathers passed away. Oh, and they found a note from him, too.
That said, I'm
This is
okay
me.
with this, and this is our plan.
So
and
I remember as hard as you found it to believe at first when I said,
Yeah.
maybe he just crawled in there himself.
yeah, no, I admitted I was wrong.
But it's also to be determined whether he did crawl in there on his own,
or if he
or-
expired and then she
or she,
put him in.
or she helped him go in there, or whether he said, put this bag around my over my head and duct tape it, and I don't know.
But the very sad thing about it is the reason he did it is so she could keep receiving his
that's right.
Social Security checks.
Yep. Well, if you're a deadbeat parent, we're going to fix your wagon here in the state of Utah.
How?
We're not going to let you go hunting or fishing.
That'll get them.
No fishing, no hunting.
I mean, I am all for whatever it takes to get people to pay their back child support, and this may help a little bit.
Maybe. It's a warning to Utah's deadbeat parents who hunt and fish. A bill in this year's legislative session would revoke your privilege to hunt and fish if you fall too far behind in your child support payments. With bipartisan support, the Utah House on Tuesday advanced House Bill 197, which seeks to use such privileges as leverage over non-custodial parents who are more than $2,500 behind in the payments. I wonder if they've done a study and found that people who are hunters and fishermen, avid, are also likely to be deadbeat parents. I wonder.
Sure, pick on the sportsman.
Yeah. And our friend Dan Hemmert, who is the Republican senator who has joined us here in the studio a couple of times, his proposal to deregulate yurts, that's run into kind of a blockade.
Well, I challenged him on this very thing when he was here yesterday.
Yes. The House Business and Labor Committee voted 12-0 to hold House Bill 297 after questions were raised about whether it differentiated between commercial and private yurts, and concerns were aired about public safety. Some members said the bill language could easily be interpreted to exempt commercial yurts.
That's what I thought.
Like the one at Solitude, from fire safety codes and food safety rules. You know, so that yurt at Solitude, I did this many years ago. I did it a couple of times. You cross-country ski to it. Which
is cool.
And I mean, by say, it sounds like it's rigorous. It's, it's a quarter of a mile away or something, and the one thing that is kind of rigorous about it is it's usually cold, and it's dark at night. But so you ski to this yurt from the lodge, and then they prepare a gourmet meal for you, and it seems to me there were maybe 20 people. So it's a pretty big structure. It's but one of the fun things about it was exciting is as we were eating, a mouse, a vole, so a really tiny mouse, came out into the middle of the floor while everybody was watching the chef prepare, and everybody thought it was kind of cool and funny that there was a mouse in there.
It's not cool and funny where you're eating.
Yeah, he's not going to eat much. He was a cute little guy.
Okay, so what's the problem with the yurt bill then?
No, he wants to deregulate it, and I think if it's a business and you're serving food to people, there need to be fire codes.
Well, and there should be, and that's what they're going to. He was saying yesterday he's trying to address that because there are differences.
Well, I would just say to the legislature, once again, the Radio from Hell team offering up our services to help you. Come and talk to us about your idea for a law or a bill, and we'll tell you whether you're stupid or not.
Because we'll pick it apart.
Yeah.
We're good at finding things wrong with.
We'll help you. We'll name your children. We'll fix your bills.
We can't find things right with many things, but we can sure find a lot of things wrong.
We can see where you're going to go off the rails on something.
The man accused of killing University of Utah student Mackenzie Lewick has put his home up for sale.
Murder house?
Yeah, the Fair Park neighborhood home served as the epicenter for the horrific crime. It's where investigators allege homeowner Ayoola Ajayi burned Lewick's body after he killed her. For the neighbors, the home will always bring up horrific memories. Every time I go by, I can't help but remember what happened there, said Scott Barraclaw, who lives just 2 doors down from Ajayi's home. There's a black mark in your mind whenever you look at that house. That kind of just reminds you that there's something horrible happened there. Now, apparently there aren't any disclosure laws in Utah. Some states have a law that says if there's been a crime committed in a house, you have to tell a potential buyer about it.
I think you should have to.
I think in Utah, as I understand it, not the case. Unless somebody asks. if you directly ask the seller, has there ever been a crime committed here? Then they have to tell you. So you might just bear that in mind if you're buying a house and that kind of thing really bugs you. If you're buying a home and you don't ask and you don't know that a crime has been committed there, and then it's probably not a big deal. Although the neighbors, I'm telling you, probably the neighbors also, they probably will wait till after you buy the house, and then they'll come over and say, "You know what happened here, don't you?"
You bought the house even though that happened?
Yeah. So you should probably always ask.
Yeah.
And find out those things.
Right. Weather, traffic.
Brought to you by Are Debts Killing You? Do a cash-out refinance on your mortgage at loansbyrick.com. Loansbyrick.com, 801-809-SAVE. Where else you going to go? It is cold, 22 right now. Really cold up like Park City way. Saw some sub-zero temperatures up there earlier this morning.
Up Park City way?
Up to Park City. And the haze is back. We've had this same pattern for a few days, which means that pollution builds in. And so we need to be thinking again about idling and trip chaining and those kinds of things. Let's try to keep that down to a minimum. High of 40 today. Traffic, let's see what we've got for you. I'll refresh this, see if there's anything new to tell you about, because it's been fairly light this morning. I do see a little bit of slowage northbound I-15 through Draper and Sandy, but not nearly as bad as it was yesterday. And other than that, things look very clear. So smooth sailing for you, it appears. Unless you see something that's not smooth, you can text it to us, 33986.
Here's boner candidate number 3, money well spent. A woman has spent more than £20,000, that's approaching, $40,000, covering her entire body with tattoos. Also, she tattooed her eyeballs to turn the whites blue. Oh, and she split her tongue as well. Amber Brianna Luke got her first inking when she was just 16 because she wanted to know what it felt like. She immediately caught ink fever.
Well, Bill, then you're making someone with a disease a boner candidate.
Ink fever?
Ink fever?
I was just a little...
Oh. Yeah. See, science always ruins
Science
humor.
will ruin that joke.
Science ruins humor. She was a relatively attractive young woman at one time, and now she is...
I would say that's her choice to do that.
It certainly is, and it's sure money well spent, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't.
No. I can't quite describe how dense these tattoos are and how really not very... They're intricate, but they're not very good. And she's got like a devil's head, a female devil's head tattooed below her navel. And I mean, oh my God. Anyway, boner candidate number 3, money well spent.
All right, let's review the first two and vote.
Number 1, I got to work on my parking skills. A driver at a parking garage in Boise, Idaho, crashing into 11 vehicles in the parking garage. Boner candidate number 2, one day the only place I'll be able to smoke is on the moon. A county in New York is trying to ban smoking in private homes that share a wall with another family. And boner candidate number 3, money well spent.
Here we go. This is round 1. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one should go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. Yes, if it wins here, it's not boner of the day yet. I said possibly. Because at 8:20, we got round 2. 3 different candidates. We get a winner there as well. We'll take both of the winners and put them against each other for boner fight at 9:20 this morning. That's when you'll actually decide boner of the day. So right now, you got to pick your champion for round 1. Here we go. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that number, that single digit is all we need in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Or you can call Katie in the producer's booth, 877-602-9696. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting, February 20, 2020. 2020. And vote there. You've got less than 300 seconds. Here we go. It's round 1.
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of two such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders! In this episode, we find our elders rendezvousing with Zone Leader Hansen on some distant planet in the BFE sector. Hey, Butch, what you got there?
Oh, it's a care package for my folks. You know, my mom means well, but she just doesn't understand the physics involved in sending stuff from home.
Well, what you mean?
Well, the cookies she sent are fine. They're hard as a rock, just the way I remember them. It's the lime jello with shredded carrots in it that causes problems. You know, even in Tupperware, this stuff goes bad after a week in hyperspace. Missionaries who have eaten this stuff have been known to develop a form of space madness.
Wow! Oh, look, here comes Zone Leader Hansen right now.
I have discovered the most incredible object. It allows us to view any period in the history of any planet. We can research early church history. This discovery will allow me to get reassigned back to Earth and leave you two losers far behind.
Right. Glad to hear it. What's that have to do with us?
Since you weren't having much luck in the field, I figured that you wouldn't mind watching my discovery while I go back to Starbase 182 and file my report. Hey, are you eating while I'm talking to you? Give me that.
Sorry.
Say, green jello, it's carrot shavings. I haven't had this since I left home.
But sir, I think you ought to know that...
Quietly, Hi, he's eating.
Shut up, the both of you, right now. This jello tastes funny.
He's gone mad. He's got space madness. We better go after him.
Okay. Hey, what's that thing right there?
You mean that natural arch that seems to be showing the History Channel?
Yeah, that thing. What is it?
I believe that who is it would be a more appropriate question.
Is that you that said that, Butch?
No. It must have been the natural arch over there. Okay, I'll play. Who are you, and what have you done with Zone Leader Hansen?
I am the guardian of forever. Hansen has entered through me into your world's past.
Entered through you?
Well, I guess we can get back to tracking now, huh, Lehigh?
No, we most certainly can't.
Huh?
We need to get Zone Leader Hansen back and cure his jello-induced space madness.
Come on now, Lehigh. He was a little weird before my mom's jello. Are we sure he's sick?
Where in our world's history is Hansen now, Guardian?
He was asking questions about Mormon history and about lime jello in particular. He entered as I was showing him the Relief Society meeting where sisters first began to experiment with lime jello.
Well, if he disturbs that meeting, the timeline of church history could be permanently changed. Let's go, Butch. Whoa! Will Zone Leader Hansen change church history? Can Butch and Lehigh get him to go before he does? Will the Relief Society let Hansen anywhere near their test kitchen? Tune in next time to hear Relief Society President Mulestein say...
I'm at a loss, sisters. We've tried shredded beets, cauliflower, radishes, eggplant, zucchini, and rutabaga. Nothing seems to go with this new lime jello stuff.
Excuse me, sister. I think we can help.
I don't think we should go against the Prime Directive, Bush.
How did you get in here? One wrong move and you'll see the business end of my skillet. Just like the last kid who wandered in here and tried to tell us how to conduct our business.
Other kid? Oh, hey, it's Zone Leader Hansen. She's knocked him out cold.
Nice going, ma'am. Wish I'd have been here to see it. Tell you what, we'll get him out of your way and you can go back to doing what you were doing. Oh, yeah, and you might want to try shredded carrots.
I warned you about meddling.
She's got a skillet. Run for it. Run. On the next liposuctioning episode of Space Elders.
46, time to award round 1 of your boners.
And round 1 of the boner voting is brought to you in part by a Thai-inspired shrimp dish.
And it's Thursday. Celebrate at Gracie's with dinner and a show with Michelle Moonshine, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., followed by more live music with the Hardy Brothers playing from 10 to close. Adults only.
Boner candidate number 1. I got to work on my parking skills. It's a guy crashing into 11 different vehicles in a parking garage in Boise, Idaho. Boner candidate number 2. One day the only place I'll be able to smoke is on the moon. A county in New York looking to ban smoking in private residences that share a wall with other residences. So, for instance, condos or apartments, places like that. And boner candidate number 3, money well spent, I think. This woman who has spent more than probably around $40,000 on getting her entire body tattooed. Debbie won Pee Wee Herman tickets, and the winner was boner candidate number 1. I got to work on my parking skills.
That's the winner of round 1. It now goes forward to boner fight. Might be boner of the day. It depends. We'll see how round 2 goes. 8:20, 3 different candidates. We get a winner there, and we'll pit them against each other at 9:20 this morning for boner fight. That's when you decide boner of the day. Is this sponsored?
Yeah, by a contest. X96 is stoked to welcome Disturbed with Stained and Bad Wolves at USANA Amphitheater on September 9th. Tickets are on sale now, but listen to Radio from Hell and Todd Newcomb every day for your chance to win a pair of tickets. Get all the details and find out how at x96.com. Here's your keyword, outside. OUTSIDE, outside. Text it to 33986.
I wondered what that feeling was. Now I know. I'm stoked. That's what I'm feeling. Look, here he is, the grizzled film reporter, film reviewer for the Salt Lake Tribune. Your beard is...
I am bearded now.
I kind of like it. Are you going to keep doing it? Mm-hmm. Let it fill in more?
Yep. See how it goes.
Give it a try?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sean Patrick Means is here, culture writer and film reviewer for the Salt Lake Tribune. You can read a lot of his stuff at sltrib.com. And every single drop that he has written for public consumption at moviecricket.net.
Not quite, but close.
Almost every drop. All right. So, Sean, where are we? What do we got?
Well, in the artsies, this one counts as an artsies because it's only playing in one theater and it's not in English. Las Píldoras de mi Novo, which means My Boyfriend's Meds. This is a Mexican comedy. It was not screened. It's something about how a couple goes to a resort for vacation and the boyfriend forgets to take his meds. And I'm sure very, un-PC comedy ensues.
Yeah.
Yeah, not screened.
Not screened.
It's only playing over at the Megaplex Valley Fair.
Okay.
Okay.
The Lodge. This is a horror movie that was at Sundance last year.
It's bone-chilling, it says.
I remember there was a lot of talk about this movie.
It is a cabin in the woods kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
New girlfriend of a divorced guy, alone in the cabin with the guy's 2 kids. One of whom is one of the kids from It. So,
all right.
And she's played by Riley Keough, who is a really good actress.
Mm-hmm. And Elvis's granddaughter. She's
Lisa Marie's daughter, and she has a history because she was written up in The Husband. The husband is a psychologist and wrote about his new girlfriend when she was 12 years old and the only survivor of a Christian death cult.
That's what I remember hearing about.
Yeah, and once again, the somebody forgets their meds and bad things start happening.
Yep.
This is disturbing and unsettling, but not in a good way. It's really.
Okay.
It's creepy.
Yeah, and I spent a good 12 inches just saying.
All right.
It is not my favorite. 2 stars.
2 stars for The Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Olympic Dreams.
Olympic Dreams. This is an odd one. This is actually apparently I didn't know this. The International Olympic Committee, the folks that do the Olympics, they have an artist in residency program.
Oh
yeah.
It's fairly new. And this is the first result of it. A filmmaker and his wife, who is also an Olympic athlete, made this movie where she plays. She's a summer games athlete. She's a cross country runner.
Okay.
named Alexi Pappas. She's also an actress. She's really good, actually. When she's ready to hang up her running shoes, I think she has a good career as a
Run
movie
straight
star.
to Hollywood, Alexi.
She could be a movie star.
On the fast track to stardom.
She plays a cross country skier who's in the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, and she gets done early. She has her event early, so she's just hanging around the Olympic Village, feeling sort of, okay, what's my next step in life?
Yeah.
What's the next act? And she runs into a volunteer dentist who is working in the medical center at the Olympic Village, played by Nick Kroll.
Is this a comedy?
It is a romantic comedy. Between these two, and it was all filmed in the Olympic Village. The director is Alexi Pappas' husband, Jeremy Teicher, and he's basically a one-man crew because they were allowed to shoot inside the Olympic Village, but the rule was, don't get in anybody's way. So as very stripped down, one man
handheld cameras.
Handheld camera. He's the cinematographer, the sound recordist. Everything.
Yeah.
And they filmed in these places that most people don't get into, and it's very fascinating just to sort of see that world. And they also deployed a few cajoled some athletes to appear just sort of as themselves, hanging out in the village. A couple of them actually are pretty good. Morgan Schild, who's a mogul skier who trains up in Park City, she plays this woman's sort of roommate and confidant, and she's actually good. And Gus Kenworthy, who won a silver at Sochi for slopestyle skiing. He's actually is an actor. He's been in the American Horror Story series, and he pops up as a variation of himself, and he's actually quite good. He has one really good scene with Pappas. So it's fun to sort of semi-improvised. They had an outline, and then they sort of winged it from there. And it's this really charming, little romance, and she's amazing, and I want to see her as an actress once she's decided. Because she's actually training. She competes for Greece. She's born in America, but she has Greek ancestry, so she competes for the Greek.
Is she good?
Olympic
Is she a
team.
good athlete?
She came in 17th in the 10K
So
at
not so
Rio.
good.
Could you come in at
I say you come in 17th in the 10K in
I-
Rio.
I'm just saying, coming in 17th is nothing to talk
Out of
about.
30, out of 37 is pretty good.
Okay.
And she also set.
I think you're sweet on Alexi Pappas. That's what I
a little
think.
bit, yes.
Okay.
But she also set the Greek national record for that event.
All
so.
right.
And she's training again because she wants to get on the Greek team this time for the marathon.
Okay.
So, 3 stars.
3 stars for Olympic Dreams. Tell you what, let's take a break, and then we'll come back. Sean has a 4-star review to hand us. Will it be Call of the Wild? You'll just have to stick around and see.
Can I do just a tiny...
It's not Call of the Wild.
Call of the Wild.
Just so you know.
A teeny tiny bit of traffic
Yeah.
for you. A friend of the program says southbound I-15 just before Kaysville comes to a screeching halt. No incident. The road just turns twice. So thank you for sending that in. Crash northbound I-15 96 south in Sandy. The right shoulder affected there. And a crash northbound I-15 13th south in Salt Lake. When you open a new card from Cyprus Credit Union, you'll get 0% interest on all purchases, balance transfers for 6 months. Visit cypruscu.com or stop by a branch today.
All right, thank you. The rest of the movies coming up after these, round 2 of your boners, all that. On the way, stand by. BigOTires.com.
Big O Tires has really gone out of their way to let you know about financing. This is a big deal, and it's important to Big O Tires, and we should really highlight it a lot because they know, Big O Tires knows that tires and auto repairs, that can be expensive.
Yeah.
And it can be unexpected, too.
Yeah, it just happens all at once.
Yeah, like, oh, well, what? I have to get 4
And you
new
can't
tires?
wait. You got to do it.
Yeah. That's so Big O Tires offers no credit needed financing. So no matter what your budget, no matter what your situation, they have financing that they can tailor to you. And they have very, very good prices on tires. Start with the Big O brand tires. They're great tires, and they're competitively priced. But if you want other Goodyear or Michelin, Pirelli, and
Carry
more,
'em all.
yeah, they've got them all, and you can finance it. No credit needed financing. Don't wait another day. Take advantage of no credit needed financing at Big O Tires. You can find a team you trust store, that's Big O Tires, at bigotires.com.
X96.
is Utah word of the day. That's
From what year? Do you have any idea?
94, I want to say.
94.
1994.
Let's see. Here we go.
Today, we examine another group of words used by most Utahns called L words, or words that end in ELL.
Oh, yeah.
And to help you with today's lesson, each time an L word is used in the following dialogue, a bell will sound. Imagine, if you will, our two friends, LeVar and LeGrand, together in LeVar's trailer house. The TV is on. A conversation ensues. Again, these are L words.
I love this TV show.
Yeah.
I am so glad that someone is showing the reruns of McKell's Navy.
Me too. You know, I would just love to set sail with McKell myself. Hey, you remember the one when the wacky crew of PT Boat 73 tried to save that beached well?
Oh, yeah. They had a hard time because of this big storm.
Yeah.
Gale force winds and hell stones the size of golf balls.
Yeah.
But they saved that well anyway. McKell did not fell.
Well, no thanks to Gruber. Yeah, that was quite a tell, though. Hey, listen, give me some of them snacks, would you? I'm hungry.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
What?
Trell mix.
Yeah.
You're not going to like this, LeGrand, but Trell mix makes me thirsty for just one thing.
You're not gonna be drinking beer in front of me, are you, LeVar?
Oh, no. I'm going to have me a glass of L.
L is beer?
Yeah, but this is pretty mild. It's that Pell L from Squatters. It's so mild I can drink a whole bucket of it.
You'd get drunk if you drunk a whole Pell of Pell L. Then you'd get throwed in jail. And I'd have to bail you out. Oh, hey, looky here what I got in the mail. It's a flyer from Deseret Book. It says here that Dan Quell is coming to town to sign copies of his new book.
Boy, the liberals sure rode Bush and Quell out of Washington on a rel.
Sure did.
They fought tooth and nail, but it wasn't enough. Hey, I hear that this new book of his really lifts the veil of secrecy about Washington life and what really went on. You know, I'd like to see him. What Deseret Book is he at?
Well, the one by that big jewelry store.
Big jewelry store. You mean Morgan's Jewelers?
Nope. Zell's.
There you go.
That's back when we had this theory that we would beat you over the head with comedy. You know, the way to get you to laugh was to beat you over the head with comedy.
Why didn't we ever learn to edit?
I don't
That's
know.
what I want to know. Also, now, you were shouting, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, though, out of all of the Utah Word of the Days, that was the best one.
It was one of the,
Really?
Yeah. It was one of the better ones.
In my opinion, I think that was the best one. Whenever someone says, what's the quintessential episode, I say that one.
I still like Lard Dorothy. That's a gorgeous orange.
I like talking to the manager of the store about the manger scene.
Yeah.
The creche, you know, the manger scene. The manger. I need to speak to the manger about the manger scene.
God. Beat you over the head is right. Even I was getting bored. Sorry, folks. Yeah, that's why we don't do sketches anymore, all right? Anyway. Okay, 8:02. Before we get to the rest of the movies, contest.
Tool is coming to town, and we already gave away all of our tickets, but Tool is also going to be in Portland right before they come to Salt Lake City, and X96 and Lyft Credit want to send you to see the concert before anyone in Utah. Listen all week long at 8, 2, and 5 for your chance to win a tool, like an actual tool. This hour we're giving away pliers. I don't know if they're needle nose or what. Pliers.
Well, you need to know.
And a digital download code for the new album, and qualify for the Tool Flyaway. If you want more details, go to x96.com. The keyword is BAR, B-A-R, BAR. Text it to 33986.
All right. What if they turn out to be like vice grips or something?
Well, I'd like that.
That would be extra value.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Movie sponsored by?
This month, welcome Jenica, the newest turtle, as she tries to adjust to life as a mutant, not to mention her first solo adventure with a brand new villain, Dr. Volt's 2043 East, 33rd South.
It's a Ninja Turtles comic.
Breathing new life into the franchise.
That part out.
Now back with Sean Means, the culture writer and film critic for Salt Lake Tribune. All of his writings collected at moviecricket.net. You can read his stuff in the paper too, sltrib.com. So where we go now, Sean?
We have two more artsies, and then the fartsies.
We have The Assistant. This was the talk of Sundance and past festivals because it didn't premiere here. Julia Garner, who you may know from the series Ozark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's really good.
She's really, really good. Here she plays the character's name is Jane, although you never hear it mentioned in the movie. She is a entry-level assistant in a New York-based movie production company that, for legal reasons, any resemblance to the Weinstein Company is coincidental.
Oh, I see.
And she does all the daily stuff, making copies and making coffee and tidying up the boss's office.
She's not a hillbilly from the Ozarks.
She is not a hillbilly from the Ozarks. She lives in Park Slope. Or no, she lives in Astoria, pardon me, in Queens. And she, she's smart. She knows what she's very efficient and so on, but she sees everything, and she sees what the boss is doing. She sees when the starlets come in and the door's locked, and she sees
who plays Harvey.
There is an actor, but we never see him. We only hear his voice on the phone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is about sort of what recourse she has. So what can she do? And there's a chilling scene where she goes to the HR guy, played by Matthew McFadden, and there's nothing, and it's just chilling, and it is this fascinating sort of day in the life of watching this woman trying to figure out how she can, either keep her job and be complicit or do something about it.
Interesting.
And it is. First off, it is just a thriller in the sense that it just keeps you, on, nail biter and all that, edge of your seat the whole time. But secondly, it is like the most necessary movie right now with what's going on with Harvey, with what's going on in the Me Too movement. Yeah. You just got to see this movie. 3.5 stars.
3.5 for The Assistant.
Yeah.
Next we have
Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Yeah, this should have been France's entry into the Oscars, but it because the rules are only one per country, they picked something else, which was a good movie, but still. This is 18th century. You have a young painter, who is hired to do the wedding portrait for a young woman who's being sold off into matrimony by her countess mother. The young woman, however, doesn't want to be painted, doesn't want to sit for a portrait. So the ruse that the mother has set up is you're going to come and be her companion on this vacation up at the coast.
Uh-oh.
And keep an eye out and just hang out with her, go to the beach with her, and watch her,
friendly.
Watch her, and then go back to your room and from memory paint her picture.
Okay.
Guess they fall in love.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they get friendly.
This is one of the most beautiful, lyrical, everything you can think of, just gorgeous movies you've ever seen. The way the emotions are handled, the way that the visuals are handled, everything is just so perfect. I saw this movie like 2 months ago when it was end of year award consideration, and there are parts of it that are still
Really?
rattling around in my head.
Mm.
It is just amazing. So I don't want to say much more because I want you to just
think you've
experience it.
That's plenty. Yeah.
4 stars. It
4.
is so amazing. Go
Portrait
see
of
it.
a Lady on Fire is the Broadway?
It's at the Broadway.
All right. So let's move on to the fartsies. You did not see Brahms the Boy 2.
Nobody
'cause
saw Brahms the Boy 2.
It's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie, and they don't do that.
They don't need to screen them.
Yeah.
Built-in audience. So
Yeah, exactly.
let's move on to Call of the Wild.
The Call
then.
of the Wild. Yes, this is the famous Jack London, 100-plus-year-old short story about Buck, a sled dog.
A CGI sled dog.
This is Gina's time to say, this movie looks horrible.
Well, I'm sad because I like Harrison Ford as this character, and I like this story, and
I like the CGI dog as Buck.
it looks like he's too anthropomorphized for my taste.
Well, I mean, bear in mind that blame Jack London for that a little bit, because I mean he ascribed a little more human things to the dog than a dog actually has.
But he like smiles, and he
There's not so much.
okay.
Not so much in this.
All right, help me be okay with this
All right.
because my kid wants to see.
Well,
it.
go. That should be all you need, really.
Okay.
If your kid wants to go see it, you do what the kid wants. This is rather sanitized. There's some non-PC things Jack London did, like evil Native American tribes, things like that, that are not in this version.
Okay.
It's been cleaned up for that level. But you have the dog gets kidnapped from cushy life in California, gets taken up to Alaska, sold as a sled dog on a mail route, and then later gets befriended by this outdoorsman played by Harrison Ford,
who wears a shawl.
It's cold out.
No,
it's Alaska.
Okay,
it's always cold.
And it's about how the dog is torn between the friendship with this one good master. I mean, he has good masters and bad masters, and Harrison Ford's character is definitely a good one. Torn between that and the
Call of the Wild.
The lure to go be his true doggy self with the wolves and dogs that are out wild and in Alaska. Yes, it's CG. The thing to note here is that the performance capture for the dog was done by a guy named Terry Notary, who is like the guy for animal mocap. He did Rocket in the Planet of the Apes movies. He did Kong in Kong Skull Island. He's your dude.
Yeah.
And
that Kong was great. The movie wasn't too great, but that Kong was great.
Kong was great. And Rocket is like one of the most expressive characters
in
just
that
through,
Planet of the Apes movie.
just through physicality.
Absolutely.
And that physicality, he's definitely doing his inner dog, within that thing, and it is fast. It's fun to watch, and it's the director is an animation guy. He did The Croods and How to Train Your Dragon, and so it does work. I think maybe the commercials are not giving you the best.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that because
it's really sentimental, isn't it?
And Harrison Ford being gruff and lovable.
I love him.
You got to go for that.
Is it really sentimental in a way?
It's a Hollywood PG movie. Yes.
Yeah. It's designed to.
It's designed.
Really
It's
pull
designed
your
to.
heartstrings.
Oh yeah, it's designed to do that.
I'm happy to hear that because I've been sort of dreading it. And
Oh,
now
there
I
you go.
won't.
It is pretty good. 3 stars.
3 stars for Call of the Wild. All right, let's run these down. My Boyfriend's Meds were not screened. The Lodge, 2 stars. Olympic Dreams, 3 stars.
That's a great sentence, Gary. Yeah. My boyfriend's meds were not screened.
They were not.
They were filtered.
And that's the plot of the movie as well.
Yeah.
The Assistant, 3.5 stars. Portrait of a Lady on Fire, 4 stars. I was asking you, you haven't given...
This is the first one for the year, not counting Sundance stuff.
Okay.
So.
Not screened for Brahms the Boy, 2, and Call of the Wild, 3 stars. Next week, I'm looking forward to The Invisible Man.
Yes, this is a new take on that classic. This has Elizabeth Moss as a woman who is being terrorized by an ex-boyfriend, abusive ex-husband who has apparently turned invisible, or he's dead, or she's crazy.
There's somebody sitting.
Was this Jordan Peele?
No, it's the same production company. It's Blumhouse.
Yeah.
So it's got that connection. There's also a movie called Seberg, which is a biopic of the actress Jean Seberg, played by Kristen Stewart.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All that and more next week. Thank you, Sean. We'll see you then. Let's see. Traffic, Gina. Yeah.
Crash westbound 800 north at the I-15 northbound freeway in Orem on the right shoulder. Crash northbound Bangor Highway 25th South and West Valley. The right lane is being affected there. And let me check our message stream. No, everyone's trying to win things there. So if you see something you want to share, you can always text it to us, 33986. With over 5,500 vehicles to choose from, they save everybody thousands and don't expect you to buy if you don't like the figures. LHM Used Car Supermarket, where they are number one.
Boners round 2 coming up. Here are the candidates. Number 1, how stupid can we get? Pretty damn stupid. Boner candidate number 2, it's part of the radical pro-abortion agenda. And boner candidate number 3, you got a pretty solid case there, George.
All right. Sean wants to vote for number 2 right now, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Katie, if you take that. All right. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Boners round 2, big boy news, all coming up. HasterGames.com is the website, but they would really like you to go down to their location at 6831 South State. And with their hours, it's bound to be convenient for you. They're open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, noon to 5 on Sunday. It's a great place to just sit down and play games. So if you were a loved one into board games like Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, that kind of thing, you're going to love Haster Games. Board games from Haster Games. You get less virtual, more reality. Spend some time interacting with your friends and family as opposed to a screen. Your brain will thank you. There's still plenty of fantastic 2-player games in stock for 10% off. Customers can now pre-order the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons supplement book, Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. You can do that in-store, or you can go online and pre-order that at HasterGames.com if you mind to. Haster has open board gaming all the time, so you can demo any one of the games from their 300 games library before you buy it. Give it a try it before you buy it. 6831 South State, Haster Games.
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of 2 such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders! We join our elders as they arrive on Vulcan. They hope to find a cure for Lehigh, who is suffering from Ponfar.
Ah, Vulcan, world of logic, place of pointy-eared people. Here I will seek out my mate and find man who killed parents, settle down, and raise pointy-eared offspring.
Knock it off, Lehigh. You aren't a Vulcan. I was hoping you only had the 24-hour type of Ponfar. Dang it. Oh, here comes somebody. Excuse me, sir?
Greetings. You are new to Vulcan?
Hi, I'm Elder Spock, and this is Elder Jensen.
Hi.
We represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know, the Mormons.
Spock? He is a legend on Vulcan. You mock us by using his name.
Oh, we mean no disrespect. Lehigh here is Spock. I mean, they mind melded and something went wrong. Elder Spock here is suffering from Ponfar.
Ponfar? This is almost illogical. We must meet with T'Pau. She will know how to proceed.
This is Spock? He does not look like Spock. Fascinating. So the great son of Vulcan has sent you as his replacement? Joining will go on as scheduled.
Joining? What joining?
My parents chose my mate when I was 7. We were telepathically linked, and now is the time for us to be wed.
Spock was joined with this woman. You haven't even gone to Snowgroves with her. You can't marry her. Talk about breaking the rules.
We are all gathered. We shall proceed. We are here to complete the joining of Spook and T'Pring. Unless there is anyone here who objects, the ceremony will commence.
Excuse me, T'Pau, ma'am, I have a problem with this.
Only Vulcans are allowed to protest. One more word out of you and I will have you removed from this holy place. Now, shall we begin?
I protest.
T'Pring, no. Why?
I have chosen another to be my mate. I choose Elder Jinsen.
But I was to be the one you chose.
A challenge has been made. T'Pring has chosen her companion and is her right. Let the combat to the death begin.
Combat? To the death? Oh, come on, Lehigh Spock. You know I can take you in a fair fight. Be logical. Give up now before I have to hurt you. Hey, you cut my Mr. Max suit. Why, they ought to teach this at the MTC.
Oh. We have our victor. Elder Spook shall wed T'Pring.
Excuse me, ma'am, but I don't think I can go through with this. You see, I just killed my companion, and we're way out of our sector. My zone leader won't be happy at all. I really should be going.
And I will be free to take Ston as my husband.
Is this the end of Butch? Will Zone Leader Hansen really be upset at Lehigh for killing his companion? Will Spock show any emotion when he finds out that his fiancée has married another? Tune into our next episode to hear Butch say,
Hey, man, be careful. Do you have to drag my body all over every rock?
Butch, you're alive!
Shh, keep it down. I faked my death so I wouldn't have to kill you. I'm glad to see you're back to being your old self.
I didn't kill you. I didn't. I don't remember much of anything about the past week,
Look,
though.
just drag me back to my hyperbike and I'll tell you all about it.
Well, we left the quadrant. What's Zone Leader Hansen gonna say?
Well, maybe we just won't tell him.
Well, that would be the logical thing to do.
Huh?
On the next finger-crossing episode of Space Elder!
And you will need that information for this. Round 2 of your boner voting. Here we go. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. Boner means mistake, of course. And you'll decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. It'll go up against the winner of round 1's voting. We did that an hour ago. Take both of those winners and put them against each other. Boner fight happens at 9:20 this morning. That's when you'll decide boner of the day in an hour from now. Right now, you're picking the champion for round 2, so choose strategically. Here we go. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
tickets to Odyssey Dance Theater.
Right.
Oh, Daryl Yeager's going to be here today, I think. Boner candidate number 1. How stupid can we get? Well, pretty damn stupid. A new viral online trend. This is along the lines of the Tide Pod Challenge, all of those things. This is called the Skull Breaker Challenge.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it is not. I wonder sometimes if they make these things up, but I saw somebody doing it, and Looks like they were doing it for real.
Whatever Bill is about to describe, don't do this.
The challenge originated in Spain after 2 students recorded themselves on TikTok performing the stunt. It involves 3 participants standing next to each other in a row before jumping straight up. While the middle person is in the air, however, the other 2 individuals each kick inward to knock the middle person off balance. So
they kick the legs out from under the person who's in the air.
Right. I think they all jump together once or twice, and then on the third jump, the other 2 stay. The 2 on the outside stay rooted, and as the middle guy goes up, they kick his legs out from under him, which causes him to land usually flat on his back and skull.
Now, does the middle person know this is going to happen, or are they playing a joke on him? Because why would you do this?
Well, why would you do any of these things? It seems to me that, yes, the middle person does know. And why would any people do any of these, the Tide Pod Challenge, the whatever? It's ridiculous. Arizona mother Valerie Hodgson took to Facebook to share harrowing images of her son, who was the victim of this malicious viral prank, she said.
Well, that's what
She said her son was left with a head injury, stitches in his face, and severe cuts in his mouth. He landed flat on his back and head. As he struggled to get up, he lost consciousness, fell forward, landing on his face. I mean, I think they know in terms of, we're going to do this, hey, let's do this thing, it's called the Skull Breaker Challenge. But enough people have now know what, how stupid can we get? Pretty damn stupid. Boner candidate number 1. Boner candidate number 2, it's part of the radical pro-abortion agenda.
No, it's not.
Senator Mike Lee had a town hall meeting in Salt Lake County. A lot of questions were lobbed his way about the impeachment of Donald Trump and why he voted to acquit the president and so forth. And then on other topics, Lee attacked the proposed Equal Rights Amendment when he was asked if he would vote to remove deadlines for its ratification, as the House recently did. I disagree with the Equal Rights Amendment, and even with its name, he said, adding that it's an Orwellian mischaracterization of what it would do.
Orwellian?
About half of the divided crowd cheered for that. Lee said years of legal decisions already prevent the government from taking action against people based on their sex. By passing this amendment, we would be upending decades of legal precedent that makes these things clear, putting into their place uncertainty and putting into their place a radical pro-abortion agenda.
Number 1, Mike, I hate to break it to you, abortion is legal, for one thing, and for another, there is nothing in that, 2 sentences that says anything about abortion.
Yeah, it's 2 sentences. That's it. And I don't think Mike knows what Orwellian means.
I think you guys don't know that there's a little asterisk and at the bottom of the Equal Rights Amendment, and you have to look on the next page, and it says, and the federal government would be forced to fund abortions.
That's
what it
old
says.
1970s propaganda.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous. Boner candidate number 2, well, it's part of the radical pro-abortion agenda.
And he's also saying that if we make women have equal rights and they have control over their bodies, that's a bad
That's what he's saying.
We need to control that because we
absolutely.
If they can't possibly make those decisions for themselves.
Well, they're making decisions to kill babies, Gina. You can't have them do that.
Let's send Mike Lee back to 1950.
Coming up,
yes.
Boner candidate number 3. You got a pretty solid case there, George.
Round 2, Boner candidate number 3, coming up after this Big Boy News and Opinioendo, brought to you by...
Hale has frozen over, so call Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air for a free HVAC second opinion. Call 801-264-HALE, that's H-A-L-E, to schedule your appointment today.
Well, it's not surprising that many people were left furious after Republicans in Alabama passed the Alabama Human Life Protection Act last year that makes abortion at any stage of pregnancy a felony, punishable by up to 99 years in prison. But Representative Rolanda Hollis thought maybe she could turn the tables and show how it feels to have your reproductive rights restricted. She had introduced a bill into the Alabama State House that would require men to have vasectomies after they turn 50 or after having their third child, whichever comes first. The Alabama Human Life Protection Act states that the only exceptions when abortion can be performed when there's a serious threat to the health of the expecting mother or the fetus has a serious problem and the child would die shortly after birth. But this representative said, I did this in order to show how outrageous it is to have laws controlling somebody's body and their reproductive health. That women now, they have this imposed on them. Well, I think that men should have to know what that feels like as well.
Agreed.
The vasectomy bill will help with the reproductive system. This is to neutralize the abortion ban bill. The responsibility is not always on the women. It takes two to tangle, she wrote. This will help prevent pregnancy as well as abortion of unwanted children. And she's serious. She's going through with it.
Yay!
Here in Utah, they're in the wild west of Price, Utah, Carbon County.
It is rough up there.
Yeah. Man has been arrested on suspicion of aggravated cruelty to animals. According to a probable cause statement, 63-year-old Lonnie Campbell was in his workshop when he saw a dog chasing his chickens and actually getting one and dragging it from the backyard. The owner of the Alaskan Malamute dog told officers he was walking to his dog along a railroad track when it noticed the chickens in the backyard. He lost control of the dog's leash and it ran after the chickens. At that point, according to court documents, Mr. Campbell got into his truck and chased after the dog. So Mr. Campbell is the guy who owns the chickens, not the dog.
Got it.
Okay.
So Mr. Campbell chased after the dog in his pickup truck and ran over it and killed it.
Oh, geez.
The dog's owner was so distraught he couldn't make a statement other than that dog cost me $650.
Well, and that dog's just doing what dogs do. They don't know.
Campbell's chicken was found outside of his property by the cops. Did not appear to have any injuries, so the chicken survived. Campbell told police he lost his temper. My chickens are my pets, he said. Investigators,
well, that dog was somebody's pet.
Investigators determined that Mr. Campbell drove off the roadway and hit the dog. He was booked into jail because it was determined he intentionally killed the animal. The Democratic debate, a few takeaways from that. It was last night in Nevada. Number one, Mike Bloomberg, former mayor of New York and a billionaire, gained the spotlight, but didn't do much with it.
He just didn't. I'm surprised how unprepared he was, and my guess is he's just so arrogant. He thought, well, I know how to do this.
Well,
he's in town today, by the way.
Yeah.
He had some good moments, they say, talking about how to beat President Trump, why Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, in his view, would lose, and defending capitalism against socialism. It's a wonderful country, Bloomberg said. The best-known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What did I miss here? That's not a really. It's not an effective argument. Bernie Sanders has only recently come into any kind of money, and it's because of a book he wrote.
Yeah.
He's a small man, you know.
I was watching this with my young son, my 12-year-old, Mohammed, who said this. Well, with 4 more years of Trump, I'll be 16 before we have a new president.
Ooh.
Which, for some reason, was really depressing way to put it for me, because he's tiny now, and the thought of him being 16 before we get a new president was depressing.
He'll be tiny when he's 16, too, if that's any consolation.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I listened to some of it.
Elizabeth came to fight.
She was the most aggressive she's been during the campaign.
She was just terrific. And Joe Biden yelled a lot.
Pete and I watched it. Pete and Amy Klobuchar just picked and bitched at each other the whole time. She lost her cool.
She did.
I predict that this Elizabeth Warren being, great and being aggressive and being on will not affect her numbers in the slightest.
I think it'll help her a little bit.
I think she'll just stay where she is.
Well, I hope you're wrong, but because she was really, again, she has all the answers. She knows.
Yep,
she has
she
a
does.
policy for everything.
She does.
She's got the experience. She's done the math, and yet she's not getting any traction.
Joe Biden's message is, "I'm electable."
Yeah,
That's his message.
I mean, they're saying that he did the best he's done, and it wasn't.
He was yelling
great.
a lot.
And Mayor Pete, I still like Mayor Pete. So,
it'll.
I think Amy's done. I think this will be. I think that was the end for her.
Amy Berman Jackson,
the judge.
Yep. She's no stranger to working under pressure, apparently. As a federal prosecutor 3 decades ago, she was in the final hours of a momentous murder trial when prospective jurors for her next trial, an armed robbery case against 3 defendants, showed up in the same courthouse. Rather than delay the case, she broke away from the murder trial long enough to pick at the jury for that, then went back and delivered her closing argument against the murder defendant. She's, in other words, she's tough and she's organized. She's going to sentence Roger Stone today. It'll be interesting to see. Well, her past would say she's not intimidated.
Yeah.
Not intimidated by Donald Trump or anybody.
I hope she goes with the 9-year recommendation.
But how fast can he pardon him?
Well, that'll
can
be
he
interesting
ever
to see.
do?
He can do it before the verdict.
So
he can do it now if he wanted to.
It'll be interesting to see.
Because he is the chief law enforcement officer in the land,
Just ask him.
He can overrule anybody, anytime. And Burger King. This is a bold ad campaign, I think.
I think it's wrong. I think it's a mistake.
I'm not saying I agree with it,
It's a mistake.
but it's pretty bold. They're trying to show how fresh. Now, I don't think this is in America. This is in Scandinavian countries, I think. They're trying to show how fresh the Burger King Whopper is. There are no artificial ingredients in this burger at all. And so they put a time-lapse camera on a Whopper. And within a day, it starts getting moldy because there are no preservatives in it. Nothing to keep the bad stuff away, to increase the shelf life. It is a fresh hamburger. It's fascinating to watch in time-lapse, that hairy mold kind of growing over. And at the end of the ad campaign, they have a picture of this moldy hamburger sitting there. It's an aggressive, bold attack, but I don't know, Burger King's ads have never been wholly. The best ones have been the one with the Burger King, the recent ones with the last few years.
You like those.
With the guy with the dumb head on him and wandering around looking strange. Those are the best ones, but anyway, that's it.
All right, sports weather traffic.
Invest in you with visual freedom. From glasses or contacts, visit Wait Vision in Lehigh or waitvision.com. That's WAITE vision.com. Well, this could be a boner, I guess. Hundreds of people have descended on a cemetery to pay their respects to Kobe Bryant, but the owner of the cemetery says Kobe's not buried there. Flowers left for Bryant and his daughter Gianna are being cleared out daily at the Pacific View Memorial Park because the private plot belongs to another family. We can confirm that it is not Kobe and Gianna's resting place. We can't tell you where their resting place is, but this isn't it. It's an unmarked grave. And there's purple and yellow flowers there, which is all that people needed to leap to the conclusion.
They immediately went, that must be it.
It must be.
It would have been enough for you, wouldn't it?
I love leaping to conclusions. But they're saying no, and you're bothering the family that really this plot belongs to, and so they're having to clear out all the flowers and the people that are showing up there every day. Weather, it's been a very chilly morning, only 23 right now and going to get up to about 40. But because we've had kind of this stagnant system for a while, today you'll start to notice the haze building in. Good reminder to reduce your driving, reduce your idling, trip chain, that kind of thing. High of 40 today. Traffic, we've got a crash eastbound Bangor Highway at 10th West in Draper. The right lane is blocked there. Crash eastbound I-80. This is up in Summit County at milepost 168. Crash westbound 8th North I-15 northbound freeway in Orem. And northbound Bangor Highway, there's a crash. The right lane is blocked there. And let's see. Yeah, friend of the program says crash on Bangor 123rd South. Traffic is completely stopped. Thank you for sending in your traffic information via text at 33986.
Here's boner candidate number 3. Yeah, you got a pretty solid case there, George. George Zimmerman.
Oh, no, really?
Who was acquitted in the killing of teenager Trayvon Martin in Sanford, has reportedly filed a lawsuit in Florida this week against Pete Buttigieg and Senator Elizabeth Warren.
What?
According to the Washington Times, the lawsuit accuses the two of maliciously defaming Mr. Zimmerman, using the killing as a pretext to demagogue and falsely brand Mr. Zimmerman as a white supremacist and a racist to their millions of Twitter followers. Now, bear in mind, neither one of them mentioned him by name. Well, here's a tweet from one of them. Let's see, who's this one? There's a tweet made on February 5th. My heart goes out to Trayvon Martin's mother and Trayvon's family and friends. He would still be with us today, Elizabeth Warren tweeted. We need to end gun violence and racism. And we need to build a world where all of our children, especially young black boys, can grow up and be safe and free. No mention of George Zimmerman there.
Yeah.
Buttigieg also reportedly added on Twitter, Trayvon Martin would have been 25. How many 25th birthdays have been stolen from us by white supremacy, gun violence? No mention of George Zimmerman. None. Zero. But he's suing for defamation.
He is a horrible, horrible, horrible human being.
I think he has a pretty solid case here. Boner candidate number 3.
He's also a public figure, so it doesn't work. All right, let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. How stupid can we get? Pretty damn stupid. The Skull Breaker Challenge. Don't bother looking it up. Just know that it's out there and people are doing it and it's stupid. Boner candidate number 2. Well, it's part of the radical pro-abortion agenda. That's what Mike Lee says the Equal Rights Amendment is. Our senator, Mike Lee. He has a law degree. He clerked at the Supreme Court.
Paranoid.
Not very smart either.
No.
And boner candidate number 3, you got a pretty solid case there, George.
Okay, here we go. This is round 2. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, it goes up against the winner of round 1's voting. We did that an hour ago. We'll take both of the winners of each round and put them against each other. You will decide boner of the day at 9:20 this morning. That's when boner fight happens. Right now, pick your champion for round 2. Send it forward. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. And put that number, that single digit, in the message of a text. Text that to 33986. Or you can call Katie in the producer's booth. Use your voice to vote. Say hi, 877-602-9696. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box. It says Boner Voting February 20, 2020. 2020. And vote there. You've got less than 300 seconds, so let's go. It's round 2.
When Carrie, Bill, and
The lightning round of Ask a Bullfighter.
You could still get in a phone question if you want, 801-359-9696 or 877-602-9696. but we have a lot of text questions. How about your health insurance, Ammon? They must be some. There must be some restrictions, or you have to have.
You must be risky.
You have to have special health insurance, or what?
I don't. It probably would be a good idea if you were going to do it.
You've had injuries.
Good idea.
Just thinking about this, are you? All right.
Hey,
wait a minute.
Why didn't I think of that? So what do you? I mean, has your health insurance covered you so far?
Yeah, on the cases where I've needed to go, a lot of the injuries are, you're just going to be sore. You can't really do much for it.
Cinch you up. We just cinch you up on the kitchen table. Yeah.
Until that big brain injury comes around, then you're going to wish you had it. Let's see. Text question. Not me, of course. I want to ride a bull once before I die. How would I go about doing this?
Good. Well, that's
his bucket list, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably easier than a lot of people think.
Make it the last item on your bucket list.
And finally.
Actually, the Broken Heart Rodeo Company has practice where they buck out some of their younger animals just to see how well they'll perform. And I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but usually it's every Wednesday night in Ogden, the Golden Spike Arena.
Really? Just show up and.
Yeah, like there's kids from high school that come and get on, or guys from college that just haven't been riding for a while that want to get back in.
You have to pay a little fee to do it.
Yeah, I think it's like $20, and usually there's enough guys there that have the equipment that if somebody, I've been there before when people have shown up that have never been on an animal before.
I don't have my own rigging.
Yeah, they help them do it. So
listen to you.
That would be a good. And I know on the website, on the Golden Spike Arena website, there's a calendar, and it'll list on the days that they have practice.
All right. Let's see. How many bones have you broken? Pretty standard question.
Probably 5.
5. What was the most painful one? No, no pelvis, I hope.
No, my pelvis is functioning great.
That's good to hear.
It's good news for your fiance there too.
My worst injury is probably my ankle when I broke it and dislocated it.
Have you ever seen a rider or bullfighter lose their life?
I have not.
That has not happened. Okay.
Not where I've been. Thank goodness.
Let's see.
Do you have to be a big guy to be a bullfighter?
Yeah, I would think because you're over 6 feet. I would think you'd want to be a little guy, like a smaller target.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm big or not, but this is my size, and the guy I work with is the guy that I fight bulls with. He's about my same size, and I kind of think of it as there's more cushion for the pushing, or I can take more of a hit. And so maybe if I was a little smaller, maybe if I was smaller, I'd break more bones because I got some padding. I don't know, but
let's see. Growing up in Franklin, Idaho, where there was nothing to do, have you ever gone cow tipping?
No. Actually, we tried one time to see how close we could get, but they weren't really sleeping. So.
Well, you got to make sure.
Isn't that just a myth?
I kind of think it is.
You can't push a cow over when they're asleep.
Gina,
I'm going to look it up.
That's bull.
Look it up.
That's bull is what that is.
Let's see. It's time to award round 2 of your boners.
And that's brought to you in part by Squid Ink Pasta.
And from the creator of Thriller, don't miss Odyssey Dance Theater's A Midsummer Night's Dream in Vegas at Kingsbury Hall, February 27th through the 29th. Visit odysseydance.com for show and ticket information.
Boner candidate number 1 was How Stupid Can We Get? Pretty damn stupid. This viral thing, the Skull Breaker Challenge. Really dumb if you allow yourself to participate in it. Dumb if you even watch it. Boner candidate number 2. It's part of the radical pro-abortion agenda. That's what Mike Lee, our senator, says the Equal Rights Amendment is. It's Orwellian.
No.
It's not. No.
No.
And boner candidate number 3, you got a pretty solid case there, George. George Zimmerman, the man who got off murder, killing Trayvon Martin. He's now suing Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg for defamation. They didn't mention his name at all.
Yeah.
They just talked about Trayvon Martin's death as being senseless and gun violence and racism and so forth. But he's sure they were talking directly to him and they've defamed him. Carrie won some tickets to the Odyssey Dance Theater production.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to ask for some later.
It's
but-
Carrie with an I.
Not you.
It's Carrie with an I.
Okay.
And the winner, boner candidate number 2. It's part of the radical pro-abortion agenda.
There you go. That's the winner for round 2. Goes forward, might be boner of the day. We'll put both of our winners against each other for the boner fight happening at 9:20. About a half hour from now, you will decide boner of the day.
I was looking at this story about the bill that requires pornography to carry a warning label.
Yes.
And the story I was reading about was on Fox 13's website. As you know, we talked about it yesterday. This bill would require pornographers to put a warning label on their product that says, this could be injurious to young minds. It could influence your future relationships with people. So,
which is
some kind of a warning.
There's no science behind that. There's just theory.
Here's what it says. Exposing minors to pornography is known to the state of Utah to cause negative impacts to brain development, emotional development, and the ability to maintain intimate relationships. Such exposure may lead to harmful addictive sexual behavior, low self-esteem, and the improper objectification and sexual violence toward others. That's basically what it would be.
All subjective.
So I'm reading this and I'm looking at the Fox 13 website, and they've used as their graphic on the website a stack of Hustler magazines. I just thought, what? Where? First of all, where did they get those?
GOOGL.
I mean,
they didn't take a picture of them.
They
found it online.
Gina, I'm telling you, they belong to.
Don't say it.
Don't. They're Max Roths. You know they are. Come on, they belong to Matt. But I thought that is.
It's not.
Why would it's not? It's just so outmoded and outdated, though. That's what they picked to be. They're not going to put labels on Hustler magazines. And there are 2 different pictures of them as well.
It's meant to be.
I think they asked around the newsroom, anybody got any old Hustlers? Who's got some pornography we can take a shot of?
You used to get Hustler magazine.
I did. No, it was Penthouse.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Penthouse once a month and I never asked for it to be sent to me. It just started showing up at the radio station once a month in a white unmarked envelope. I remember the first time I got one, I thought, I wonder what this is. It's like a magazine. Open up. Whoa!
Well, it was kind of smart of the magazine companies. They used to send us free copies of their magazines all the time because they knew that you'd go through them and use one on the air and credit them.
Oh, and there's another picture here. This is on their, I guess it was, I'm watching their TV coverage. They're showing a whole bunch of different publications, and one of them says Moist and Creamy on it.
Jeez.
This was on TV, I guess. Well, it might just be on their website. I don't know. But but I just thought how old, it just seems so old-fashioned.
Yeah. Does anybody have a stack of?
Some people must still. They must.
Do they not know about the internet?
There are probably old-timers who prefer their.
This is like what's his name that got arrested in the movie theater in
Pee-wee?
No, not Pee Wee. Oh, we love him.
We need a little more.
We love him.
Pee-wee.
No, not
We
Pee Wee.
need a little more details than
Yeah.
who got arrested in the movie theater.
Michael Jordan?
No.
Somebody Jordan.
No, why can't I think of his
Get a
name?
phone book and we'll look up all the Jordans.
All the Jordans.
You know, Best in Show and